Okay, I hate to break it to you, Skull, but because I use OBS to play my Xbox on occasion, I do have certain things muted, and unfortunately, our entire intro was muted. We are only now in this first minute actually being audible.
So, so you fucked up the countdown, and
Yes,
now you fucked up the audio.
that is correct, sir.
Fucking hell. You know what? That's oh, it's a good start.
And also, I cannot for the life of me find my VLC catcher for OBS. So right now, the folks are just looking at our two icons. Where the? I want to watch my language, but okay, you know what? There we go. There we go. Found it. Found it. Okay. All right, folks. The perfect first live version of SideChat. Gotta love it.
Yes, that's you know what? Just roll with it.
Oh yes. Now, luckily enough, there's currently no one currently watching live, but for those of you that are rewatching this after the fact, we had a bit of a rocky start.
We did indeed.
All right. I'll now press play on the VLC so you guys can actually get some stuff to look at, like move around while we're talking because humans, unfortunately, we tend to need things
Yeah.
moving. We don't like
I,
looking
I
at just
always
still images.
I do actually find it does help with concentration. Like you what's the word? You connect specific imagery with like maybe something you've listened to. Like it helps me remember podcasts.
Mm.
And I'm just remembering as well now. Do you remember how I said like, okay, if we're short for footage, I can send you my alien isolation footage. I just realized that that actually probably would have been very thematic wise. That would have actually been a good call for this one because Fede Alvarez had said that he took a good chunk of inspiration for this film from Alien Isolation.
Really?
Yep, because he loved the game and he loves the
Is
Alien
there is there
franchise.
is
So,
there is there any like? Do you feel like there's any scenes in the movie that really harkens back to it?
visually, yes, there are certainly a lot of like in terms of like the aesthetic, like for the design of the station for starters, kind of feels very Sevastopol, which is the name of the station from the film,
Mm.
from the game. Sorry. Um, there's also just again like there's like tech that you see inside like every now and then you'll see like a thing in the background that's like it's like a phone but there's like an emergency thing written on top of it which in the game is the save feature. uh,
Interesting.
oh yeah no but yeah I think in terms of like the idea of a xenomorph on a space station and like it's just you on your a small group of people on their own on this like rundown station. It's very heavily inspired by Alien ISO, I think, as well as he clearly takes inspiration from other films
Yeah, like
in the series.
there's a fair bit of like nods
Yeah,
to the earlier movies,
and then you
which
could argue that the end of the film is possibly just a blatant rip off of Resurrection
uh
to a degree. To a degree,
yeah, I could definitely see where you're going with that. But again, like I will say, whereas to compare to another movie that
mm.
heavily used a lot of nostalgia, I will say I feel like Romulus tackled it a lot better than, for example, the sequel trilogy of Star Wars did.
Yes. That I agree with you there. I think there are some parts where I think it's a bit like okay, you're clearly just like again, we might not get to it in this part of our discussion of the film. This might be in part two, which will probably
Mm.
be out in another few weeks. But yeah, there's a few lines of dialogue later down the line in the movie. Where I'm just like, okay, that was clearly that was maybe you jangled the keys a little too much,
Yeah.
a little
Uh,
bit.
Now, before we actually dive into the movie proper, folks, there is a little bonus to this live stream.
Oh yes.
Uh, I am now. In the past few days, there was the announcement. Sorry, there was the official trailer. We always had like I think teaser trailers at this point, or even
Mm.
just images. I think it was. Actually, yeah, there wasn't even teasers. It was just images, wasn't it? Of
Images, and I think we had the one teaser, and then there was like those few videos they had released on Instagram.
Okay.
Of like we get like those videos that have been going around where they put like a little cat, a GoPro, and a cat, and you see their perspective. They did that, but with the cat on the ship that takes place in this show takes place in. So it's like, okay, we see how shit goes down from the cat's point of view.
Okay. So if it's not obvious, folks, I'm talking about Alien Earth, which will be which is probably, there's a good chance it's going to be the first ever show we're going to cover in SideChat. It was looking to be Stargate, but this show is clearly going to come out before we get to Stargate.
Oh, absolutely.
But we will try and cover that show, as the episodes come out. Obviously, on the weekend we'll do the video, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be like, unlike with the movies, the show is going to be a situation where we've only would have seen the episode once. Unlike with the other Alien movies, we haven't ingested them over multiple watchings.
Yeah,
so it's going to be very fun and very unique in terms of what we've already done.
Yeah, fingers crossed that the show doesn't suck.
Yeah. Now, I have not seen any of the videos that Skullduggery just mentioned. I've only ever seen the image of like the planet with the xenomorph. Sorry, with the facehugger. So that's it. That's all I've been exposed in terms of this show. And I did see snippets of the trailer from other people showing me snippets. But this is going to be I'm going to take a look at it right now. You guys are going to see my full-on first reaction. Okay, you're not going to see it, but you're going to hear it. I'm going to talk about it. Because unfortunately my camera is broke.
Oh, here, share your screen with me, because I'd like some context actually for this as well.
Okay.
That's possible.
I can just let me pause this footage here then.
For the record, I have seen the trailer already. I'm just curious to see how Celtic will see it.
All right, I'll just enlarge it. There we go. All right, folks, here we go. Oh, I forgot you can't hear the desktop audio. Give me a sec, folks. I need to change it to.
And I can still. I'm still just looking at our icons.
Oh yeah, because you're Discord chat. Yeah. So hold on, folks. I'm changing the audio to my other monitor, so you guys should hear the video playing from the thing. And now for Skullduggery to be able to see and hear, I will now share my screen of Opera. There we go. All right.
Yeah, I can see.
All right. Now I'll press play. Now I will say, these first few seconds, I really love where the trailer is even going with this whole countdown.
Yeah, it's clearly just a teaser for the teaser.
9, 8, 7.
Oh, and the
6,
jumping around
5,
again.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
I kind of hate it when trailers do that.
How's our girl?
Just play the fucking trailer.
Yeah, but I suppose you don't need a teaser for the teaser. I think that type of countdown should have been at the end of the trailer.
Yeah, like to show there's an explosion or something, because it's an alien movie. There's always going to be a fucking explosion.
Or they could have saved it or they could have had that countdown be its own trailer, like closer to the release date of the first episode.
True. So anyway, I'm curious.
She's ready.
With this.
You're going to be the first person to transition from a human body to a synthetic.
So
Because I'm special.
For context,
That's right.
to those that can't see it, we're just saying that our protagonist is a young human girl who is going to have her consciousness transferred into her body. That recognizes the body.
We have a downed spacecraft.
I want what's on that ship.
And
We can do it.
I have.
We're fast. We're strong.
There's Timothy
We don't
Olyphant
break.
in the libraries. I do like, if you notice, actually.
It's like a zoo, but the animals got out.
So I'm just trying to focus on the actual.
This
Sorry.
ship collected 5 different life forms from the darkest corners of the universe. monsters.
It's not Alien without the wailing sound.
Invasive species. Predatory.
If we don't lock them down, it will be too late.
I'm excited. Oh. Okay, clearly we're getting more than just the xenomorphs. And I'm fascinated by the whole set. What's it called? The girl being her mind being transferred to a synthetic body.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have mixed feelings on that idea.
Yeah, it's like, where is this technology? Why?
Because keep in mind, this is still supposed to be before the first movie.
Yeah. Oh, it's set before the first.
Yeah, it's set before Alien. It takes place after Prometheus and Covenant, but it takes place before Alien.
Now, see, then that's set. Yeah, okay. So it's set after Prometheus, but it's set and Covenant, but it's set after thing. Okay.
Before.
Do you know how long after Prometheus and Covenant?
I'll actually look it up there, because let's see. Let me just double check. How long? Alien Earth timeline. Confirms in. Okay, so timeline of all Alien live actions. What year Alien Earth take place? 2120.
2120.
It takes place prior to the events of Ridley Scott's Alien.
Right, but where does Prometheus and Covenant sit on that timeline?
I believe. Let's see. Alien Covenant timeline. No, timeline. God damn it. Prometheus took place in 2093, and Covenant takes place 11 years after that.
So 2093, and this takes place 2104.
04.
So
so the new show is 2020.
3 years.
I think so. So 2120, and then Alien takes place 2122.
Okay, so this takes place 2 years before Alien.
Yeah.
And 30 years but after the events of Covenant and Prometheus, respectively.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so that short of a time space really does, as again we've been saying this since Prometheus, the technological difference seems like it seems like way too more advanced in the Covenant and Prometheus compared to the other movies.
There is also, if you look at the weapons, they're clearly meant to be the pulse rifles that the Colonial Marines have. But again, if you look at them, they're clearly the versions that we see in Aliens, and Alien Romulus is the movie that shows us like the pre-version of those.
They did seem like more primitive. They didn't seem quite the pulse rifles yet.
Oh, fair enough. They do take a few of the designs from the later games. I think Colonial Marines and the one we have, Fireteam.
Trying to get a point where we see a good clear side view, because they look like more like they look a lot smaller than the pulse rifles.
Fair enough.
I'm just trying to find a good shot, but unfortunately, because the way trailers are, with the bouncing between, It's hard to pinpoint a spot.
Yeah. As you said, though, the idea of more than just the xenomorph being a threat on board, I'm all down for that. It's an interesting concept.
Yeah, and we saw one of the creatures. Like
Like a weird squid thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. I might get a good shot. Not wait. Oh god, there we go. So they do look smaller than the pulse rifle.
Right.
Now, mind you, this guy clearly has an extended mag in. This one does look more on point. Actually, yeah. Okay, see, that's a proper pulse rifle. What this guy has in the back.
Yeah.
If you can see,
And the one,
screen. The one in the forefront looks like a primitive.
That one is the one I'm talking about that has appeared in the games. I'm pretty sure that's in Aliens Colonial Marines.
Okay, well,
and I think
I didn't play those.
Good. Do not play Colonial Marines.
I will give you this back one as being a full on pulse rifle.
Yeah. So again, I suppose that that's the big issue that a lot of the newer Alien stuff has is timeline wise they just, aside from the analog future, they just don't know how to progress how to keep the tech consistent.
Yeah.
There's a few things actually that, like, even Alien Romulus suffers from this in regards to the embryo implantation, in terms of how long it takes between plantation and birth. But we'll get to that.
Another thing I will say is, okay, so with this being set 20 years before thing, but again, like as he said, it was about 30 years after Prometheus. Now, I understand Wayland, it was very old. He probably would not have been able to wait the 30 years. But it seems like, okay, it really seems like this, like he would have tried this type of experiment of transferring his consciousness. Just because we know his motivations in Prometheus, it really feels like he would have signed up for this experiment.
I mean, for all we know, maybe this is that's why this thing exists. I think again, it's just they better have a good explanation as to why this never shows up again in future timelines.
Yeah, that too.
Because again, it's that whole thing of,
because like why would
it kind of brings into question: are all androids like this now? Is this how all of the androids were made, or
which can't be because of Prometheus and Covenant.
Exactly.
And then there's also the fact that Romulus, which again I like what they were doing with Romulus in terms of like how humans are so frail. And again it leads to the understand like the obvious way that they would like Wayland Yutani want to always maximize their profits. It would make sense for them to experiment with trying to make the human genome better, so we can go to different planets of various types.
Oh yeah,
which we will get to as we talk about the actual movie.
Also, I've only just thought now about a flaw in that plot line, but again, we'll get to it when we talk about it.
But then, because again, the whole colonization stuff is clearly too slow and it's too clumsy. As far as Wayland Yutani at the time of when the Romulus experiments were beginning. But if transferring a consciousness to a synthetic was on the table, that would have solved colonization issue. To my knowledge, because to my knowledge, a synth wouldn't need a spacesuit or anything like that, because they're not alive. So it would solve all the issues, and also they're physically stronger and whatnot. And let's face it, if a synth gets damaged, they will be a lot more easier to be repaired than what a human body would be. So there has to, and again, there will be a reason why there better be. That's me having faith in the writers that like, okay, we will explain why we don't see this transference again. Clearly we have a team of I would argue we have a team of synths here.
I think that's the idea because she says we're stronger, faster, and we don't break easily.
Yeah, the actual lines is well. I want. Also, I will say that guy has definitely creepy scientist vibes. I don't know who's that. This guy is.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope they don't do this. Again, this is the. I'm hoping it's just random science man who works for Wayland, or maybe he is Wayland himself. But
It's not Wayland himself. We saw him die.
no, I mean, because as we know that they name like Wayland. There's so many different Waylands in the Alien universe that was like Carl Bishop Wayland the Third and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, but he has. They're his descendants, aren't they?
Yeah, so it's likely that this could be a descendant. Is what I'm getting at. Like this could be a descendant of Wayland. Sorry, I should have specified. This could be a Wayland descendant.
Yeah.
Or honestly, because given how a lot of shows like this are written now, he could be related to Burke.
Burke, as in the fucking lawyer.
The asshole from Aliens. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. There's just something about in the way the character is presented in terms of his design that I'm just like, please don't have him be like a Burke.
Oh my god, the hairstyle. Oh, I see it. Oh, I see it with the nose, the hairstyle.
Again, I could just be reaching, and
yeah,
but
no,
it is one of those.
Chances are it's probably gonna be a Wayland who's continuing his father's or his great grandfather's work, or even his uncle.
Yeah, it's hopefully yeah. I'll accept a Wayland, but I'm just, or he's just random science. He's just random science man. You know, that's it. That's it. But yeah, the trailer. Yeah, I'm kind of again. It's one of those things where I'm just taking it with a grain of salt because.
Yeah. But you know, we're back to the actual thing. I just saw him. I wanted to talk about him. I want on that ship. Like, yeah, he's so creepy. We're fast.
So we're strong.
We don't break. Also,
yeah.
Okay, and I find it interesting that you're a synth, but why not? Why going with a sword? Why not? With a gun?
I think that's just we need generic badass female character with a sword kind of thing going on there.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like again, a synth. Like we've seen that synths are stronger than humans, so them with a sword it's still a very fucking lethal.
True, and
option.
if this was in any other universe other than Alien, I'd agree.
Yeah, but the fact that they have acid for blood.
There's also that, yes,
yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's a bit too kind of cliche.
Yeah, like
the badass protagonist that knows martial arts and a sword and stuff like that. I was like, okay, come on. Unless you're fighting Predator, no.
Yeah. If you're fighting a xenomorph, a melee weapon is the worst thing you can go into battle with.
Yeah.
It's like a zoo, but the animals get out. Like just the idea, like 5 of the, and again, I love how the container, like we only know 2, and one of those is obviously the xenomorph. Now this design I heard is harkening back to an earlier comic, from Dark Horses.
Oh really?
Yeah. It's when like a whole bunch of people start having like visions of the xenomorph and all that, and in their dreams or I should say nightmares, the xenomorph had like this type of appearance.
Shit!
We also get a cool scene of a blurry scene of 2 people watching as soldiers panic the fuck out as they're clearly shooting at some in the grass, and one of them is being torn apart so violently there's a red mist spewing up this high. The man was about hold on, how tall was that man? Hold on, we get, assuming he's standing upright, right at the start of the scene. So his height is about where my mouse icon is. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. Then the blood sprays up to off fucking screen.
Oh shit! I actually missed that in both times I've watched this.
So
Also, I just had to double check there, just because Noah Hawley. I was wondering why that name is familiar. I might have a little bit more faith in the writing of the show after this because I don't know if you've watched it, Celtic, but he has been the writer for the Fargo TV series,
not for me.
which it is a really good series. I would highly recommend. It's based off of a Coen Brothers what's it movie, but he's like one of the writers for the show. So okay, if he's handling
he's not
this,
even the writer. He's the creator of this show.
okay, yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that grain of salt is now lessening a little bit. Okay. I didn't realize he was the Fargo guy, so that's actually pretty good.
Again, it's a lot of mystery. We see Marines. We see a bit more to see. We see this. We keep going. We go back to this goat a couple of times, being scared of something. Yeah. And they're clearly analyzing its brain. Most likely the fear factor. We see a bunch of scientists, them bringing back the things that they really should not have been brought back. Mm-hmm. Invasive species. That could mean anything. We know it can definitely mean the xenomorph.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have this, like the fact that he says it and then it cuts to this creature.
What does it say on the screen? Actually, I'm curious.
Hold on. The tentacle.
The tentacles carry.
Oh no, there's something at will at the very top. I'm getting ready to pause it.
Okay.
Tentacle system that can grow and retract at will. The tentacles carry extraordinary strength and are built to climb into and
dislodge the eyes of other living organisms. Once replaced in the eye socket,
it will actively take over the ocular pathways to the brain,
overriding the neural.
Oh, it possesses people. Oh,
it's. Oh god, it's Starro.
Oh, wow.
It's okay. So it's basically like very graphic Alien Universe Starro. That's okay.
Oh god. So we're getting more Eldritch horror shit, basically. More study, more study needed to gauge intelligence.
Okay, the fact that they've shown this in the trailer as well, I think it's appeared a few times. This is gonna come into play in the show.
Yeah, clearly,
definitely. More study needed.
Intelligence. Oh, slip at war shown. Remarkable problems. So they're highly intelligent. They can problem solve.
Good lord! Imagine a xenomorph coming out of that.
No. Okay, well, how would the facehugger impregnate you?
Oh, the facehugger will find a way.
just Ian Malcolm. Life will find a way.
It's just the facehugger. Is this all right? I'm going to assume this is a mouth. That's my asshole. Good enough.
Problem solving equate to a near human. A complete...
So it is quite intelligent.
Yeah. And then we get this thing. Again, the sheep being scared.
At first, I thought that was horns on the sheep, but on the goat. But no, it's is it a sheep? Is it a goat or a sheep?
I thought they were horns. I thought they were horns as well.
Yeah, no, I thought that, but no, they're clearly.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a very shit costume thing for like, oh, it's an alien sheep. Okay, Luc Besson.
And then we get this mysterious. Like, I think this is the eye thing. Also, now this bit I'm curious about.
Well,
like the way she's reacting to something, like it's not. I don't. Is it because she's hearing something, or I've seen now that's a clip I saw. Some people are speculating she has like some kind of psychic shit going on.
Oh god,
and that's why she was chosen to be transferred or whatever.
No.
Then we have. Now this is when they tease other creatures, but also the big reveal of
the alien.
The Xenomorph. Oh, we got a good clip, good image of the eye thing. Well,
Yeah,
I
I'm
believe
curious.
that is
I'm
it.
curious to see what it does.
Hold on.
The
Getting ready
eggs,
to
obviously.
pause. Getting ready to pause.
Mm-hmm.
Hold. Oh,
Dude, his
too
face
soon.
hugged.
I'm getting anxious
No,
now.
that's yeah.
There we go.
There it is.
Oh, that thing looks creepy.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh God! Like the multiple pupils.
I don't
Oh,
like it.
oh, and it's okay. We got a xenomorph jumping as
Lunging.
as someone else is jumping. See, this is why I don't like using directional buttons.
Oh, that shot. Oh, that shot. That was clearly green screened.
See that, and it goes by so fucking quick. I can't pause it. Fuck it.
It doesn't matter. We've seen it.
But yeah. Oh, and again, like then it obviously focused towards the end on the xenomorphs.
Obviously, yeah.
Because they don't want to showcase all the traits. I wouldn't mind as the series goes on. Like after each episode airs, I think it would be cool if they did like an extra video where that covers like their analysis, the scientists' analysis of the creature.
Yeah. And that's things like, because I know a lot of people, some comments I've seen was like, oh, so wait, it's stupid to have, like, so this show is retconning that, oh, Wayland Yutani knew about the alien since before Aliens. And all I'm thinking is, they knew about it long before this show was even in conception. Like, there's canon novels and comics that showcase that, yeah, Wayland Yutani knew they did know about the Nostromo. They knew about the
which would then explain why, as part of law, as part of all contracts, if they find any kind of signal, ships had to go investigate.
Yeah, like the entire the only thing that Wayland Yutani didn't know was where to find them.
Yeah.
In terms of like they didn't know that all they knew was the Nostromo disappeared around the Zeta Reticuli system. They don't know which planet it went to. They don't know. They just it's all just down to okay. It's like that's why the colony was established. Well, no, it's not why Hadley's Hope was established, but it was just kind of, as Burke said in Aliens, blind luck that they colonized that planet when they did. So then they just started doing a grid search.
Yeah.
As soon as Ripley was found. So in terms of that, like Wei-Yu always knew about the xenomorph.
And again,
after the events of Alien.
And also the fact that they're also trying to overlap this with with the other big franchise, Predator. Wayland also then knew about especially at the end of, like, if AVP is considered canon within the movie universe, which so far we haven't really seen any evidence that suggests they're not.
I think AVP are okay. So we know the aliens exist in the Predator universe because of Predator 2. Where AVP stands in the canon, I think for now it's just a separate universe.
Do you think they're considered separate?
In terms of the movies, yeah. Comic books, they all take place in the same universe. But I don't know. It depends on where they go with that. If they ever try to do an AVP movie again,
I suppose because technically we never really see any nod. Whereas Predator makes nods to Alien, and Alien occasionally. Actually, no, Alien really doesn't make nods to Predator.
No, they keep it separate.
Yeah, like Alien's like, no, we're the big brother, you're the little brother.
Yeah. Though I just had a thought as well as we were talking about this, because again, the show takes place canonically 2 years before the events of Alien. The alien that we see in this trailer, the alien that's clearly going to be on Earth, what if they took it from somewhere in the vicinity of Zeta Reticuli, and so that's why Ash is on the Nostromo, and that's why the Nostromo heads in that direction. Like, it's all orchestrated from the beginning by Wei-Yu.
I can see that, yeah. I can totally fucking see that.
I really hope they don't go that direction.
The idea that they set all the events of Alien in motion.
Yeah, I think, because what I love about Alien is it's just bad luck. It's just it's just
bad luck and bad decisions.
By pure happenstance, they come across this alien species, and Ash is just like his programming is okay. If we ever do find species that could be viable for the bioweapons division, keep it safe. Like that's it. Like it's literally just a greedy company putting contingency plans in for its own benefit at the detriment of its employees.
I don't mind the bigger conspiracy of that they set the events in motion. But again, we do know that xenomorphs appear on other planets, so
True.
It could be literally anywhere.
I mean, for all we know, this could be like some from the Romulus station. No, Romulus takes place 20 years before Aliens. Yeah.
Or hell, for all we know, it could be one of David's fucking knockoffs.
Oh God, I hope not. I really do want them to take as many steps away from Prometheus and Covenant, which is again Romulus kind of starts to do, which I'm thankful for.
Oh yeah, they can probably explain that it's what he did is its own separate
thing,
cousin species. You could say.
Yeah, they it's one of the few times I'm actually happy for a retcon in a film.
But I can't. Sorry. I can't wait to see what the other three are. The other three creatures are
It will be interesting. Yeah.
And I'm surprised. It's one of those moments where strange enough that again we see on one side that they are interconnecting the universes. Again, mostly from the Predator side, which I find in terms of the movies and shows, I always find fascinating that Predator's no, we exist in the same universe, but then with Alien, it's pretty much they don't deny they're part of the same universe, but at the same time they don't reference that there's no hint that they're a part of the same universe.
Yeah.
Because if they grabbed 5 different alien species, now there was I did not see any container that would be big enough to contain a Yautja, so I highly doubt a Yautja. Also, the fact that considering Yautja are also sentient and they have all that fucking stealth tech. Realistically,
oh yeah, no, they wouldn't be captured by a human.
Yeah, no. Especially humans with this level of tech, they'd be like, oh, these guys are. Oh look, it's the monkeys we hunt every now and then. Look at them with their little spaceships.
Yeah. Though actually, because I just remember now as well, because there's that new Predator movie coming out as well, and that actually has that has a Wei-Yu synth, as well. I'm just thinking that now. So I think that might be. I think they are going to start trying to ship them both together in some way.
Yeah, but again, we only ever really see it in Predator movies. We never really see it. We never really see the merger from the Alien franchise. Then again, we might see one of. The only other creatures we saw in Predator movies was their hounds, which I doubt. Which are not going to be one of the deadliest creatures.
No,
they're Yautja puppies. I can see a Yautja, maybe cuddling up with his little hound on a cold winter night when he can't hunt.
Yeah, they're just very violent Klingons.
But anyway, I'm excited for the movie. The series. Again, I'm excited to see what it could be. Also, what clearly the xenomorph that we saw is of the human hybrid variation. So someone is going to make a fucked up mistake and get impregnated. Or they're going to take a prisoner and impregnate them. Again, it's Weyland-Yutani. Can't put it past them. Which is why I don't mind the big conspiracy of Alien, because it's Weyland-Yutani. They are just awful, awful people.
Yeah.
There's no ifs or buts about it. In any case, folks, it's time for us to get into the nitty gritty. It's time for us to actually talk about Romulus. But yeah, folks, we will be talking about, as I said, Alien Earth episode by episode.
Yeah, I might get a Hulu account just so I can watch it.
If you want, I found a way to. I'm not going to say what I'm going to say because of the mouse. Again, the chances of that mouse or someone from the mouse watching this video is very unlikely. But I learned something thanks to a mutual friend of ours. in terms of things. Okay, so just
Yeah, tell me after.
yeah. All right, I'm pressing play on your guys' little entertainment as we're talking.
Wait, so have they just been looking at a black screen the entire
No,
time?
no, they haven't. They've been watching the trailer. They watched the
Oh,
trailer,
thank God.
and me
Thank God.
pausing at moments of the trailer. All right. So, Alien Romulus. Okay, so first off, folks, I really love the movie. Kicks off as you would expect. I think it's the same companies that are doing this again. Fox, obviously, as well as what's this company? I see them every now and then, but I can never remember. Oh, Scot Free.
Oh yeah, Ridley Scott's production studio.
Oh, okay, that'll explain it. But yeah, I really do love how for this movie they have the Fox Entertainment logo transition to the classic. It's just a shame I don't. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, what is this? What's this grammar short? There we go. I don't know why. It turns out thing was not muted.
Yeah. It does. It does a nice little homage to Alien 3.
Yeah.
Which I didn't mind. And we're kind of put right into it. We're put right into it. Space, and again,
Yeah, we
you
get the
brought
whole
this up.
credits stuff. Yeah.
Well, no, we don't get. Oh yeah, well we get the credits, but it's during this backdrop of like it's space. This automated Weyland-Yutani ship activates. We see the screen saying, "Oh, it's reached Zeta Reticuli." So it's like, okay, so this is where the Nostromo was during the first Alien movie. Which going into because I already knew going into it, or when I watched the movie the first time when I went to cinema, like I think Fede Alvarez or someone during an interview had said, "Oh yeah, so the premise is they found the alien from the first film and then shit goes down." Already I have an issue with the opening. And it's that why the fuck is there wreckage of the Nostromo? Like that thing blew up 3 times with like the power of like 3 atomic and nuclear weapons. Like that shit should be vaporized to the point.
Well, okay,
of,
we
like,
don't know the
nothing
exact
left.
material the ships are made from.
But dude, like it's an explosion plus the ore that they were shipping, which could have been highly volatile.
We don't know what again. We don't
it
know.
True, but an explosion that size thrice, like that shit almost like ruptured a hole in the space time continuum in Alien 1. Like if you like the effect.
Hold
like
on. Okay, you know what? I'm going to pause my Alien Romulus silencing, and I'm going to just quickly open up Alien. Yeah, well, we'll see if I'm being too generous.
Because that explosion,
No,
like I was.
No, dude, you might again. I trust your judgment, so that's why I'm doing this. Okay, so let's see here. Ripley getting on her spacesuit.
Oh yeah, she's blasting it at the airlock.
Just rewinding, rewind. Okay, I forgot that's only going back 10 seconds. So I'm just trying to find the exact thing.
Like no joke, but when I watched the film for the first time and I saw the explosion of the Nostromo, I half expected to be a space baby at the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like I thought Ripley was just going to be orbiting Earth as that fantastic music from that film plays.
Okay, yeah, there you go. She's run into this thing.
I think just from when the Narcissus is like launching, I think that's where you need to.
Yeah, but it's hard to pinpoint exact.
Oh yeah.
10 seconds.
Just say as well, like
go on.
That entire sequence, like no matter how many times I watch that movie, like that sequence has me.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. T-minus 30 seconds.
Is it weird that I sometimes I found a video on YouTube and it is just the entire Nostromo countdown sequence, and I sometimes listen to it like when I'm bored, just like from start to finish because I just love the alarm system.
Maybe.
It's like some people listen to Rain ASMR. I listen to Mother telling me that I'm going to blow up in like 15 minutes.
Here we go. 12, 11, 10. Beeping continues. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Kaboom!
Uh,
Wait for it.
yeah, Okay, yeah, there we go. There's the second one. Why would it explode 3 times? Would it... Okay, well, I suppose chain reaction type thing. Again with that explosion. Okay, so yeah, it does go off. The explosion does, like, again, a nuclear explosion. I'd argue does go off 3 times, but we actually don't see.
Well, I think the fact that she's far away enough from the Nostromo to the point where it's just a dot on the horizon, and the explosion and the light was still able to reach her in a few seconds. Because it's not just that; it's not just the fact that there is wreckage. It's also the fact that it's all bunched up together. Like, that shit would have been flying in all separate directions.
No, okay. See, now that I would actually have a problem with. It's not the fact that there's wreckage. That's where so that's where I will concede. Is by the sheer explosion force, that wreckage would have been knocked. That wreckage would have been scattered, and by the laws of physics, until it's acted upon, it should just keep on going indefinitely in said directions.
Yeah.
So I will give you that.
Okay. So there is that, but there's also, I will say, I do, as much as I have the issues with the whole finding the wreckage of the Nostromo, atmosphere-wise and soundtrack-wise, it's really good. Like, the sound design is like, I will just say this very quickly, because I always love praising soundtracks, because I think they're like one of the most important parts of a film. The soundtrack in this movie is fucking fire.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore the score to this film.
It's like they know when to be also the moments when they just cut all audio is like, even the lack of, like, okay, we're talking about the score, but the sheer fact that they also know exactly how to use silence.
Yes.
Is just
and we'll come back to that in a while after they're on the station. And something else praiseworthy about the soundtrack is they do reuse a few motifs from previous films, but they don't rely on them. They still do their own original stuff, and I think it still keeps the tension.
We acknowledged that this is how you should use nostalgia in a legacy franchise, we would say.
Yeah.
Because now, again, as we said, there is one particular use of nostalgia which we were both like.
For me, it's 2, because I know you're talking about that one, but it's also, it takes place a little bit before that as well. But we'll get into that again. That's towards the end of the film. We probably won't be talking about that in this video, but we'll get to it.
So you have 2 moments where you think they should not have used a particular moment of nostalgia.
Yeah, as because I'm still rewatching the film because I want to refine the rest of my notes. I'm sure I'll come back to more, but we can come back to that. We can get to that when we get to it. But yeah, so the ship finds like this floating rock in space, and it's very clear. It is very clear that this is meant to be the Xeno. This is the Xeno that
no one's going to be surprised by what, like, when you see the crater after they take so they take this rock. I don't know. Also, how is it a rock?
This rock that's oddly Giger shaped.
We've already talked about how xenomorphs excrete their thing to make their hives. What if the xenomorph purposely did that?
I kind of took it as read that that's kind of what it did. Like, it's because it can. This movie even goes into it that it can slow down and hasten its metabolism at will. So I'm thinking, okay, that could be just one of the things that happened, which is what allows it to survive, like, in space and stuff like that.
Yeah, I need to mute a server.
And see, again, this is where, again, this goes back to my issue with the Nostromo wreckage, because if they wanted an excuse to find the xenomorph from the first film, have the ship appear in the Zeta Reticuli system, but have it be like you don't have to show the Nostromo wreckage. You could maybe even show like
A
the
ship accidentally coming across the Xeno.
yeah,
thing.
like its job is to search the area, and this is just the instance where it came across it.
Yeah.
Like again, much like how the scavengers found Ripley at the start of Aliens,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. At least then you've got because I think that again, actually, this would be the Nostromo wreckage. Actually, you know what? I would class that as bad nostalgia bait.
You know what? Yeah.
Because
I
it
will
is there
say-
just be like, ooh, remember the Nostromo? See, it's Alien.
No,
Again,
I can agree with you. Also, now that I get a good look at the rock, in like again, folks, as per usual, I tend to have the thing playing in the background as we're having these discussions, because as we're going scene by scene, I can then be like, oh no, remember this point. But yeah, it's not even. It doesn't even look like normal rock when it actually has proper lighting on it. It looks like it's made of the same material as the hive walls tend to be.
yeah, I think in universe it's described to be like similar to like silicon or something like that, or what's it? What's that stuff that resin? That's it. I think in Aliens they call it secreted resin.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of.
I do love how again we get no fucking dialogue. I will say all we have is sound effects of machinery and whatnot, and eerie music. That's all the audio we're getting is sound effects of things making noise and the music. And I will say I love how the music kicks. Like the music is slowly getting louder until we get to the reveal when we look at the top part of this cocoon, so to speak, for lack of a better word, where we then just see the silhouetted shape of
Like the indent of the Xeno,
yeah.
And then that's where because the ship it's done its job. It's found the Xeno, and it's taking it back to what we will later learn to be Renaissance Station.
Also, I forgot. I wanted to point out. Sorry, there is a bit of dialogue, folks, but it's not the type of dialogue you would expect. It is a fucking choir chanting.
Yeah,
Like again, like Skull says, the fucking music department for this movie was on fucking fire. Like, it's so creepy.
actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm just gonna. Because you know what, we need to give credit where it's due here.
You're looking up the sound the person in charge of music.
I'm looking at the composer.
Yeah.
Benjamin Wallfish.
You fucking legend.
Yep.
All right, and it's
Fucking
at this
fantastic
moment we then get the title card.
Yeah. So like,
and again, also the reveal of the title card is actually hold on, no, they do the opposite, whereas all the lines and dashes made up the title. Last time
they go in reverse. Yeah.
it's the title which then shifts into the lines.
Which, you know what, I'll give him points for restraint.
Yeah.
In a manner of speaking. And oh, pardon me. And then this is where, of course, we meet Rain and her synthetic brother Andy.
Yeah, which I actually did not mind this protagonist.
I quite liked Rain, and I loved Andy.
Oh God, yes. Oh,
Andy is just a fantastic character.
Oh, but yeah. So we find them on a planet that is, I think the term is tidally locked with the rotation of their star. I'm trying to remember. It comes up in a lot of lore videos that I watch involving a certain cinematic universe in a galaxy far, far away, where they do mention like planets that don't rotate. As they rotate around their planet, they're like locked, so one side is always facing.
Yeah.
I think it's called tidally locked. I might be wrong.
Yeah, because
the term does come up, and I'm kicking myself in the ass for watching so many of these videos about planets and alien species, and I cannot remember this term.
This planet is a colony planet. It's clearly the early stages of colonization.
Yeah.
and it's a shit show.
Yeah.
It's very dystopian. It's very crowded. It's not Hadley's Hope.
Yeah. It's very much not. But yeah, so immediately we are introduced to basically our motivations of our protagonists. Rain
Yes.
is dodging a call from someone who clearly she owes maybe money to or something. She's avoiding his call like the plague. Funny enough, we never really get an explanation on why she's avoiding this call.
Well, I think in terms of expectation, I think it's clearly like I took it to mean like it's like maybe her boss or her supervisor, because in the very next scene, that follows, it's like she's talking to this way you rep, and she's like, oh yeah, hey, so I'm looking to get tickets to leave planet with my brother, and
right.
it's
You might be right. I think it's her employer. He's like, why are you at your shift, or something like that? Could be what he's doing, like.
Because Rain believes this is her last day, because she's as we're back to the way you think. She's like, okay, so yeah, I've served my time. I've served my hours with the company. I'm eligible to leave with my brother. We're going to, what's the name? I have it written down here.
Anyway, so that's her motivation. While you're looking now, whereas Andy's
Yuvaga.
Whereas Andy's entire motivation is simply, again, as it was explained, he is a synth, but she views him as a brother, which I'm like, aww.
Yeah, and he's a synth that makes dad jokes.
Yes, I was just about to say that. He's constantly he can tell by her simply avoiding this call. She is stressed. She is bothered. So he is then immediately trying to elevate her mood, and we see that this is his go-to throughout the movie, even to a fucking asshole. He sees that this asshole is worried, he's stressed, so he even tries to cheer up that asshole.
Yeah. And again, credit where it's due to the actor, because I get jumping ahead a little bit. We do get two versions of Andy in this movie.
Oh yeah,
and the credit to his actor.
Yes.
His actor plays it really well.
Yeah, it's like Michael Fassbender in Covenant.
Yeah, and even people, because I know there even people that like, I've seen a bunch of reviews, people that like the movie, people that hate the movie, and a consistent high point has been Andy across a lot of those videos, for good reason. Again, well acted character, and just like I found myself caring a lot more about him than a lot of the others, and Rain, obviously.
See, there was actually only really, in my opinion, there was only like okay, I will say, the small crew that we are introduced to, I did find myself caring a little bit about them, except for one, the pilot, because we got virtually no characterization with her.
Was that the pilot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say she was, in terms of the crew, she was the weakest link.
Yeah, and then you've also got the Kay, the pregnant woman.
Yeah, spoiler.
And I have to say, I'll just say this right now, but I felt so bad for her character watching this movie, because from her perspective, she had morning sickness.
Oh God,
fell
yes.
asleep.
Oh yeah, we'll get to her. We'll get, when we get to the end. Like, we'll probably do it in part two. In part two, we will go about how badly she has it.
Like, she had the worst fucking day of everyone on that ship.
Yeah,
it's not even funny.
So again, anyway, back to the old form. Again, this harkens back to the whole point of Romulus. Okay, again, I'm being bombarded with messages. Now they're not even for me. They're just for servers.
I can hear. Yeah.
Mute server. 3 hours. Okay.
But yeah, I think as well, like an important thing.
Sorry, I want to finish my talk, because
sorry.
My talk got stuck because of all the fucking beeps. Yeah. So the whole point of this movie, folks, and again, it was even advertised as such. Like, even the writers are like, okay, we're going back to form, and you can definitely, the minute you see that how big the lead cast is, you can tell they've gone back to form. It doesn't really feel like only one person felt like they were there purely to be
to move the plot along.
or to be meat fodder, to be killed. Now, obviously, one person always, like, regardless of when it comes to the xenomorph movies or alien movies, one person always has to be the fodder because they need to start the chain of events where a chestburster comes out.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
again,
there's always that one person.
But even then, like again, and I still have a little bit of an issue in regards to this one because yeah, it's a smaller crew this time, which again, big improvement over the issues with the previous two films.
Yeah.
They still feel on the writing side a little weak. Again, as you say, the pilot, Navarro, I think is is the name of the character, as we'll later see. Yeah, her job in this movie is literally just pilot the ship and be fodder. And in the first Alien movie, I suppose the fodder to get the alien plot moving was Kane, but we got a good bit of time with Kane to get used to his character and get to know him a little bit and his personality. So again, it's a step in the right direction. I just hope they refine it for the next film.
Yeah, they because we get way more scenes with Kay, obviously, and we also get way more scenes with the asshole, as I've been referring to him as.
Yeah, Bjorn, I believe this is.
Yeah.
Who he is Kay's cousin, and Tyler. Yeah. Tyler is the captain of the ship, and he's Kay's sister.
So obviously we get way more developments with those. Like you feel way more connected to those characters than with
they try a little bit harder with them. Even the character of Bjorn, who he's not just an asshole for the sake of being an asshole. We do kind of
does have it.
Yeah,
we do. And again, from his point of view, it's a non sentient. Again, it's in all fairness. Yeah, again, it sort of harpens back. Strangely enough, it ties into what happened in today's D&D session.
Oh God!
It strangely does.
It kind of does. To anyone, I'll if any of you out there watching are Star Trek fans, Measure of a Man. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
Like watch that episode.
I'm sure that's a beautiful reference.
I got to have my Captain Picard moment from Measure of a Man, and I've never been happier.
Okay.
Dude, I know you don't like Star Trek, but I think just for context, just watch that episode and you get it.
I'm sure that, anyone watching this video would appreciate. But yeah, so anyway, back to the planet.
An important thing to point out when it comes to Yvalga, I can't remember how they pronounce it, but Rain says it very very earlier on when she's trying to get the tickets to leave she's saying it's not a Wei-Yu planet, it's an independent, but it is fully colonized.
Yeah.
These two pieces of information are very important. The first one because it not being part of Wei-Yu does actually come up a little bit later on, in particular in regards to Andy, and the fact it's fully colonized comes up to an issue I have with with the whole Rook genetic plan thing, which again we'll get to it much later on. Yeah, Wayland, the way you people are like, yeah, no, because we've had shortages, you have to work for another 5 to 6 years. Hey, it feels like a real job now.
It's very clear what Wayland is doing, and also it's a sort of like also their whole experiment that they were doing in terms of the fragile human condition definitely feels more like, I have a suspicion on why Wayland is having so many issues colonizing. It's let's just say they're not picking planets. My suspicion is they're not picking planets because of their their habitability. They're picking planets based on minerals.
Yes, because she has to work in the mines, and that's a consistent thing that's brought up in this film. Like when in the next scene when she's going to visit her friend Tyler, who sets the rest of the plot in motion, she passes some miners, and they're having a conversation like, "Oh, we've lost a few more this week."
And they're even
doesn't stop.
They went even old school with the tech.
The bird in the cage.
Yeah, I'm like, oh fuck, Wayland's really cutting corners.
Yeah.
And again, see, that's why I feel like I understand why you feel like it might be like it doesn't make sense, but I feel like from a Wayland perspective, it makes sense. Like if you
Maybe
take,
we'll.
because like again, like I feel like they're picking planets that like they're probably buying up rights to certain planets because of their lack of hospitality, their habitability, the fact that they have to bring it up, and because they will then terraform it, but also because they're also picking planets because of again something that Wayland Yutani can get out of it, which is obviously minerals and whatnot.
It's very. To be fair, that's still. I will say
It's very Wayland
it,
Yutani.
it is. They do remain very consistent, actually, regardless of the film or IP that they're a part of. They're the dick company.
Yeah. So I feel like there probably are more like there's probably some other companies or people that are picking way more hospitable planets. Sorry, hospitable planets, but the reason why they're also being they maintain their hospitability, their habitability is also probably due to the fact that like unlike Wayland, they wouldn't strip mine the fucking place, and with Wayland being always about making money, is not going to care about that. They're going to look at a planet that has lots of minerals. They're like, okay, we have some level of terraforming technology. We'll get it barely habitable. We'll then indenture people to colonize, to move onto this planet, promising them bright futures once the colonization gets full going. But realistically, we're going to string them a fucking long to get what we desire.
The whole building better worlds, but it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Mm.
And because of the way they've been picking planets, that's why they're having issues colonizing the planets. And so they saw potential of like, oh, but if we can improve humans, then that means we don't have to turn over as many humans into the job. There wouldn't be as many shortages, which means we can make way more money. So I think it's purely from like I think that's why there's the semi contradiction of hospitable planets and somehow struggling to colonize. Again, I think the struggle to colonize is purely a Wayland problem, not a humanity one. And it's purely because of their own selfish meds.
Yeah, that because like again, Rain's whole motivation is we're going to a planet that's been properly colonized. It's not way you, but it's been properly colonized. So yeah, I suppose
that's just my explanation for it.
No, yeah. But yeah, so after Rain gets disappointed, Andy is attacked by a group of assholes, and she has to kind of factory reset him in a way. Yeah, reboot him. Yeah. Which does come into play later on to a degree because like there's a little nudge on his neck and there's like a little computer chip inside, so she kind of resets it and twists it.
He's basically because again, folks, the reason why she has a synth, it's not because she's wealthy or anything or part of a rich family. It's he was damaged. Her father found him, and he fixed him with the sole objective of because like, I guess it's very clear that the father knew he was going to get sick. Or he was sick when they found Andy, and he's like, okay, I need someone around to look after my daughter.
Yeah, I have it here. Andy, Rain's dad gave Andy the directive to do what's best for Rain.
Yeah.
Well as like an entire lifetime's worth of dad jokes.
Yeah, I was like, really? You felt like that was needed?
Hey, those jokes were funny.
No, they're not. I knew you would like the jokes just because of you and our rector from Motorsport Ireland.
Oh come on, Celtic. You know the guy that like got like injured on his left side in the mine. You know he's all right now. You know you didn't like that.
I will slap you, sir. But anyway, so clearly he has some damage. So whenever he does suffer whenever he suffers some damage, he goes into this sort of like spasm. And that's what she has to do, the factory reset. So clearly there's some issues still in his processor.
And it's like it's when he's like physically attacked.
Yeah, it's
Like
not a
it's
mental thing. It's only when he's physically attacked.
like something to do with it. But at this point, yeah, Rain is contacted by her friend Tyler, who has this big proposal for her, and basically this is where again we were talking about she's passing by miners, and they talk about how like they're losing more people. Something I wanted to kind of get into a little bit. I wanted to bring it up at the start because I only
Oops, sorry.
noticed it on my rewatch. Is that Are you okay?
No, go on.
Oh yeah. They use a lot of practical effects in this movie.
Mm.
Not just with the xenomorphs, but like the ships, like the ship that's picking up the xenomorph in space at the start of the film. It's a miniature, like it's an actual proper practical effect model. As are parts of the Corbellin, the ship that Rain and the others use. Like it's all like they do their best to like keep it feeling as grounded as possible, not just in terms of like the analog future that is very in keeping with the aesthetic of the universe, but also in terms of the effects, which is why I think it really holds up so far. Like it's like the again, production wise, the movie is amazing. Like from the visual effects, the cinematography, it's just it fits it so well. I think.
And again, like as I said, like also like and this movie was definitely made with love of the franchise.
Oh yeah. Like again, if you watch interviews with Fede Alvarez, he is very clearly like a big Alien fan. He loves the first two movies, and as well as again, as I said, with Alien Isolation, he took a lot of inspiration from that game as well when making the film, and which is why, like again, like even as little Easter eggs knocking about, like I do appreciate, like even like some of the sound effects are actually like taken from other Alien films, like you know that laser that's used to cut open the alien asteroid thing at the start of the film. Its activation sound, they for the sound effect, they incorporate the alien screeching sound when it attacked Dallas from the first film.
Really?
Yep. It's not a sound you forget because that was my very first jump scare. And yeah, so
I didn't notice.
Yeah. Oh, it's again because it has been used a lot in other films, like the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movie. It appears in the soundtrack, that sound effect, because they have a lot of different like DJ music and stuff like that. Right. They even use, I think, yeah. Sorry, I'll veering off there a bit, but yeah, I think, as you say, this movie was clearly, in spite of the flaws it may have, or does have. Again, it's like the prequels, you know, with George Lucas and the prequels. It is very clear that this movie was made by someone who loves the universe.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm kind of a little bit more lenient on it than I would be, if that makes sense.
As opposed to Prometheus and Covenant, which unfortunately do feel like cash grabs a little.
It does a little. It feels like Ridley Scott, I think. My theory is with Prometheus in particular, I don't think Ridley Scott wants to make an alien film. I think he wanted to make an entirely different sci-fi movie, but they wouldn't let him make it unless they tied it into the Alien franchise. It has unfortunately happened with a few films. Have you ever seen the film Cloverfield?
No, but I'm aware of Cloverfield's existence.
Oh yeah, well, first of all, really good movie. I highly recommend it. But they did a movie years later called 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yes, I heard that ties into it.
Yeah, so the director and the writer had confirmed that it was never meant to tie into Cloverfield. The original title was just called The Bunker, but because the studio wanted to cash in on the whole expanded universe franchise thing like the MCU, they're like, okay, make it part of the Cloverfield universe. And that's why they had to change it to 10 Cloverfield Lane. I still think the movie works on its own without the Cloverfield title, so that's still good. But yeah, it's just to showcase that studios will do that. So I have a feeling that's what Prometheus and possibly Covenant were at the same time, because they don't feel like alien movies.
Yeah,
you know. Like it's because I know Ridley Scott had said, I think in an interview, he wanted to take the horror away from the aliens and make it all about the androids. I'm just like, that's not why we want to watch an alien movie.
You know, I don't get me wrong, I'm all for seeing seeing the origins and all that of them, but like the xenomorphs should always be the main attraction. You know, they should be the main antagonist.
Exactly. And in regards to the xenomorph usage in this film, I do have thoughts but we'll get to them. They are kind of in the negative, though, I will say. But again, we'll get to them when we get to them. Just in regards to how the plot moves forward with Rain's friends. So Tyler basically,
Tyler shows up. We're first introduced to the other crew members, Bjorn, his cousin, and I guess Bjorn's love interest.
The way they act, I assumed they were together.
Yeah.
It's never really explicitly stated, but it's very clear.
It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
But
Navarro is her name.
I will say I do love Tyler's introduction. He doesn't so much as greet Rain. He immediately greets Andy, and it's like, why the blind miner fall down the well? Like,
you didn't see that well. Oh, sorry, I had to finish.
Yeah. So basically, his immediate interaction, like you can tell that this guy has, like, again, they knew each other for a long time. He knows Andy, and he even so much as encourages Andy or even teaches him more jokes, much to the chagrin of Rain.
Yeah. I as character introductions go, I was like, okay, so he's clearly a good guy. Okay, I like him. We like Tyler.
And then we're immediately shown pictures of them hanging out, all happy and smiling.
Yeah, like they used to be a crew, I'm assuming, and then Rain's parents. The reason why she and Andy are alone is her parents are both died. They died in a mining accident, which again is consistent with the whole. Again, it's what kicks off the character motivations of all of them, basically.
They've all lost someone, and they're all fed up with Weyland-Yutani. Clearly,
like screwing them over.
Yeah, which we literally just saw with Rain.
Right,
so clearly, at some point, they've all had the exact same situation happen to them.
Yeah. So already going from there, like character motivations are much more logical and believable than in fucking Covenant.
Yeah. Like, let's go onto this planet that we have no actual data on, other than like it's potentially it looks too good to be true.
Yeah, it's clearly habitable, just like the planet we have been researching for years, and we know it's viable.
We don't know about the wildlife.
Yeah, no, fuck it. I mean, for all we know, it could have viruses hitherto unseen.
But no, let's quite literally, given the spores.
It's called the script.
But whereas with these guys, their motivations are a lot more rooted. Like, we spent our lives watching our parents and ourselves being screwed over by this big motherfucking company. Yeah. We have never seen the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a ship that may have cryopods that would allow us to, go to a place that's outside of the company's reach.
Yeah, which that is
out of their jurisdiction. Yes, fucking please.
Yeah, and again, that's the best segue, because that is exactly why Tyler called Rain over. It's like, okay, yes, so this ship, this Weyland-Yutani ship, it's a station, but at the time I think it's a ship, it's drifted into orbit of the station. It's clearly derelict, based on like our scans. Like there's no activity. Yeah. It's drifted. So again, they have a lot. Again,
they have logical reasons to think it's safe.
Yeah, because like it has clearly drifted. Something this big does not just drift. It is clearly like we're going to assume it's just run down. Because at the time they're just like, look, we'll go up and check. If it is what we think it is, we'll go in and we'll get the stuff. If it's not, worst case scenario, we just go back, and that's it. So
And even when there's an initial hiccup of like, oh, it's entering our planet's asteroid ring within 36 hours, like theoretically we should be out by 30 minutes.
Yeah. So it is that thing, and we're gonna get because
like the point is there's very logical leaps of like of them wanting to go to this location, them proceeding to go to the location. Now their motives for contacting Rain is a little seedy. They don't need Rain, they need Andy.
Yeah, because they need him to talk with Mother.
Yeah.
To get them access to the station.
But the thing is, though, because we know that they're friends, and clearly were good friends growing up, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch that they would they still would have probably invited Rain.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. It's just that Rain is kind of their segue into asking Andy, basically.
Yeah.
Because basically their whole plan, just for breakdown, is they're going to go to the station. They're going to take the cryopods that are there. They're going to bring them onto their ship, the Corbellin, and then they're going to go all the way to Yavaga. I don't know.
In hypersleep, because it would take 9 years.
Yep. And so at first, Rain is just like, no, I don't want any part of this. And that's where Bjorn, the cousin, is just like, all right, well, we don't need you. We just need him because he's spare parts anyway. He's not even a person.
Yeah. Already, you can tell he's very jaded. Because we do see a picture of him. He's smiling. They're in the group photo. He is smiling with them. So something happened in between then and the course of the movie that made him now pretty much jaded.
And very much I hate Andy. He is on the Andy hate wagon. For the entirety of his part in this movie, he just hates Andy.
From what we learned, it was only last cycle that his own mother died.
Yeah,
so
okay.
It's still very fresh.
Yeah.
As much as I dislike his character, I will give him that.
Yeah. For context, okay, we may as well jump ahead to it. So yeah, basically the reason why Bjorn hates Andy is there was a mining accident involving his mother, and the synthetic in charge, or the synthetic that was there at the time, sacrificed her in order to save others. Kind of a needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah,
kind of scenario.
Which it makes sense.
It's again with the synthetic, it isn't about emotion. It's I think as Garrus had said in Mass Effect 3, the ruthless calculus.
Dude, and it makes sense no matter which way you cut it.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Yeah, and so what's it? So Bjorn very much took it as you would, very personally.
I believe cycle would I think cycle at most would be a year. I don't know what they necessarily mean by a cycle.
In sci-fi terms, a cycle is basically one rotation around the sun.
Okay, so a year. So in all fairness, that is still pretty fresh. For the death of a mother. And again, clearly his dad's nowhere to be seen, so therefore his dad most likely also died.
Is dead. Yeah.
So losing his last parent within a year is that's gonna hurt, man. Again,
absolutely.
No, is an excuse for him to be a complete dick? No.
Oh god, no. And even after they explained that in the film, I was like, I still hate him and I can't wait for him to die.
Oh god, yeah. Now mind you folks, throughout the entire movie he is getting hit constantly by karma, which is very entertaining to watch.
Yeah. But anyway, so after Bjorn basically says that about Andy to Rain is like, I'm fucking off now. The lot of you can fuck off. I don't care anymore. Tyler does appeal to her, and she's like, look, my cousin's a dick, but he has a point. We need Andy, and aren't you tired of being stuck here? We're losing people. We're losing our loved ones. This is our one chance. Let's take it.
And then this is when the music goes about, and she sees the miners carrying the birds. And also, folks, she is being transferred from the farm to the mines.
Yeah.
So it's like she's seen her future
Yeah, and she doesn't want that.
Yeah.
So again, as far as character, again, a big step up from the previous film is that like this is organic motivation. It's not just because the plot demands it. You are showing us why these characters think the way they do. You're not just saying, okay, they're doing it because they have to. It's like, no, this is it. This is their living environment. We've seen how shit it is. We've seen not only through the visuals, but what they've been talking about. Like, okay, this is clearly a shit. This is like fucking Blade Runner dystopian.
Yeah, like even if you're just looking at the background characters as they're going from place to place in these opening scenes, it is horrible.
Oh, it's shit. Like it's not the the bright future. I'm assuming Wayland promised them all.
Yeah, and again, it's like I said, like again, it's like why I believe. Like I don't think like Wayland clearly just got the atmosphere as bare minimum. They as soon as they get to the bare minimum, and again we sort of see with Hadley's Hope, they get shit to the bare minimum. And then they move colonies in, and again, that with the whole promise that like, oh no, once you guys are done setting up all this stuff, you will, be living like in luxury or something like that.
Yeah. Now I do believe in the case of Hadley's Hope, a lot of the people that were there were workers that were working on the terraforming project. So I think at least there is the reason why they're there to begin with when the planet's shit. But yeah, in this case as well, it is clearly. These are people who yearn for the mines, or Wayland Yutani wants them to.
Yeah.
And it's so yeah. As far as character motivations go, like you are hooked. You are on board with this plan. Like, yeah, okay, this is from an audience standpoint. It's the best way to get you to empathize with the characters. There are parts of the script that happen later on where it does unfortunately fall into the pattern of and then this happens and then this happens and then this happens. But again, at the start of the movie so far, it is strong. I would say, for the most part. The Nostromo stuff aside. So just to give, and so yeah, we have our crew then for the Cabellin, which is again we've got Tyler, who I'm assuming is the captain.
Yeah.
Bjorn, his position is never stated. I'm assuming he's the engineer.
We only really get two positions: pilot and potential captain.
Yeah, which is Navarro is the pilot, and then Kay, who is Tyler's sister. I don't know.
I don't think
maybe she. I think she's just there because you're my sister. You're coming with me.
Yeah, I think chances are they may not. There's a good chance that like they were not maybe besides from Navarro, that they weren't a crew. That like once they got glimpse of, once they detected this ship, they're like he's like, I'm contacting my cousin, I'm getting my sister, we're taking this ticket out.
I thought so, but then I just remembered there is a line that Bjorn says when he asks Rain and Andy if they've been to space before, and they both say no. And he says, "All right, guys, make way. We've got 2 space virgins coming through."
Oh yeah. So, which means he is probably a part of the crew. Yeah.
I'm going to say though, I do kind of like that line.
Fair enough. No, it is a funny line. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there is some entertainment with Bjorn. Like,
and there are some interactions he has with Andy that are at least it's at least amicable.
Yeah, like for example, he even does like like, oh, what's this, boop.
Yeah,
but again, I think that's more him just taking advantage of the fact that for a synthetic, Andy is a little slow.
Oh, he's got robo-autism, absolutely.
Yeah. But I will say, I knew that this guy was like this might make, I don't mean to sound judgmental, but I sort of knew that Bjorn was going to go through the movie getting his just desserts the minute I saw his cocky fucking ass stand up as they're breaking the atmosphere to crazily light up a joint and to like take a real rapid rip.
Yeah, I think they don't really explain well, but I think it's like something about the ship ascending that causes the flame to rise incredibly high. Like he has the lighter like at crotch level, and it's coming up towards his cigarette.
Yeah, and
And
then
then
because of the
he
change,
puffs
I
it
guess
in
the
one go. Yeah.
change of oxygen, or I don't know the reasoning for this, but the joint also very much like rapidly is consumed. Like and again,
Yeah,
like there's no real explanation for that because like no one else seems to be getting like affected by the change in atmosphere or something like that.
I think it's just one of those things where isn't this cool? Let's do this. Um,
Oh yeah,
and
everyone's laughing.
oh yeah. I think they just wanted to have a Hudson moment. I think because the more I think of them, I'm like that might be something Hudson does in Aliens. Like if they were doing a drop, I have a feeling that would be something he fucking does.
Yeah, I could
Um,
see that. I could see that during training. Like he does
yeah.
that during training.
It's I will say kind of cool anyway. But as they're ascending,
Yeah, we
they
saw
break the
how.
atmosphere.
Yeah, also, folks, it takes them a good solid while to break the atmosphere.
Yeah.
There's a okay. We failed to mention that there's a big massive maybe actually I don't think actually their planet is tidal locked. I think they just have a perpetual storm, probably due to
Yeah.
the terraforming process. And
Yeah,
also,
because Rain has said she's never seen the sun.
yeah, we know that, but the fact that of how thick this storm was, and again we don't really see an end to it, even when they finally do break through it. There seems to be no
Oh yeah,
end.
it's planet wide basically. Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much Camino.
Yeah, which and like you could make sense. Like LV-426 was the same. Like even when the sun was out, it was still very cloudy and overcast. But so yeah, I think that is just the process of the terraforming.
Also, I will say the storm like that storm looks like shit from Evil.
Oh yeah,
I'm
like
seeing all this red lightning, and I'm like if I was flying by that planet, I'd be like, there's a dark fucking temple down there. Like there's gonna be a if I break through that cloud cover, I'm gonna find some kind of evil dark civilization, or I'm gonna find like just a dark temple to some ancient horror.
or like a church that was airdropped from a ship at Mach fuck.
Is that supposed to reference to something?
Warhammer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't the Space Marines like just drop churches onto the planets?
I know.
I thought they had.
I don't think
I
so.
might. I might be I might be thinking of something else then. Anyway,
Either way, it's a horrible storm. Now we do see a sort of
Yeah.
beautiful moment of Rain seeing her first sunlight,
yeah,
and I
it's-
will say they do give it proper reverence from her character.
yeah, like it isn't just oh hey it's a sun cool, but no they make sure like because this is
They
again this
capture
is what
moment
she's
for her. Yeah,
yeah like this is her motivation. Like when we first meet her, she's dreaming about a sunrise. Like
Yeah.
this is what one of her key motivations for wanting to leave the planet. And again, credit where it's due. Again, because I was meant to say it when you're bringing up the storm. Again, the filmmakers go out of their way to make sure you know this planet is shit.
yeah. It's,
Um,
and again, as I said, I honestly feel like that's just purely because again, like Weyland Yutani just picked planets based on how much potential money they're gonna make.
They could give him, yeah.
But this is when we get the first hint. This is when Bjorn gives like one of the first hints of there. Yavalgo is not the best place. Will not 100% be a happy ending for Rain.
Well, oh yes.
Yeah.
They bring up the yeah. Well, we're all going to be there together, and Tyler. I think Andy says something like, "We're all going to see the sunrise together," and Tyler kind of gives him a look,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Because as we do, I think we'll get to it when it's revealed. Because it is important. But anyway, as they're arriving, they see the station and they realize, okay, it is a station. It's not a ship. It is a station. What the fuck is it doing here?
Yeah, they are like fuck. Like,
okay, then.
Even Tyler's like fuck.
Like, what is that doing all the way out here? How did it get here? And then, of course, that's where the proximity alarm comes in, and we're told, okay, so we have 36 hours before it drifts into the rings of the planet, which is like this big asteroid belt. Which, again, as a space lover, like, yes, rings of planets, like they're not just little particles and dust; they are asteroids as well. Like
Yeah.
they are because they're broken up moons and stuff like that. Like Earth had rings at one point.
Really?
Billions of years ago. Yeah, they're gone now, but like Mars used to have them too, or I think will have them because one of his moons are breaking up. Anyway,
Ooh.
but yeah, no, the Earth used to have rings. Yeah, so yeah, they have this time like, okay, 36 hours, we'll be out in 30 minutes. Let's do our thing.
Yeah, it's a simple, like, again, it's a very believable leap of faith. Like, oh shit, there's a hazard situation. Yeah,
And that's
realistically,
that's the thing as well. Like,
sorry, go on.
no, realistically,
And realistically, like, that's okay. If all you're going on to do, if you're going to dock near where they would store the cryopods, which they do actually do,
yeah,
and like, it's a simple transfer them onto our ship, like, because again, the way that they take them is actually very quick, like, because the plan
like,
is to get onto the station and eject the cryopods in the very same way of what happened in Alien 3. Eject them into space, and then simply catch them in their own ship.
mm-hmm.
That's not a long job. Like, unless something goes wrong, which, okay, obviously something's going to go wrong.
It is a simple get in, get out.
Yeah, it would have been. Which again, this is why, like, again, like, this whole movie is just bad luck. Which, again, everyone has had that day. At some point in a person's life, there's going to be a day where nothing, and I mean, like, I've had days like this, multiple, where just no matter what I did, something just didn't, things are just not working out. Like, just a cursed day. Have you ever experienced that, school? Like, just a cursed day.
Oh no, I'm perfect. No, I have a few. I have a few times in my life. It's just like a shit day. It's just a shit day that ends in I'm going to order a spice bag.
These guys are having their combined shit day. Their combined curse day, which again, which for me makes it feel so fucking believable that they end up in the situation that they do. Like, I'm just like, oh, you poor child.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate luck that you had to go on to like the station of nightmares. Oh
yeah, and again, realistically, that's exactly what happened in Alien. It was just it was bad luck that they picked up the signal. It's bad luck that they were contractually obligated to investigate the signal. Okay, that one's actually technically by design, but yeah, it was bad luck that your man find this hole, goes down it, then bad luck he ends up getting face hugged, which then proceeded for the unfortunate human nature of wanting to help out a friend.
But even then, like Ripley, if it wasn't for Ash, he would not have come on that ship. Ripley would have been absolutely, you're not coming on, fuck off.
Oh yeah. Now, so, like, again, like, but again, like, there was other people on the crew that was like, let him on board.
Yep.
So again, that's why I mentioned the human nature part.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Now, mind you, Ripley was 100% fucking right, and
she was.
I'm gonna be saying this, like, man, I love you. If you were in that situation, I would have kept the shit closed.
Oh no, dude! If I was face hugged, I'd expect you to blow my brains out. I do not want to die with a thing bursting out of my chest.
And this is even it. Oh, no, dude! I'm saying, even if I did not have hindsight on my behalf, like, if in a zombie apocalypse, if I saw that you were even remotely near some zombies, I'm not letting you in.
Yeah,
I am not taking the fucking chance.
Yeah, like quarantine me. Wait a week, see if I turn.
Yeah, you are going straight into you're going quarantine. I'm aiming a fucking the minute I even that's even if I let you in, I am aiming a fucking gun at your head, and I'm locking you somewhere where I can give you
Until
food until I can see if you are fucking thing.
yeah,
Hell,
and that's the logical approach.
hell, I will tell you to fucking strip and let me look for fucking bite injuries. Like I'm not trusting you. Some people will say that makes me a horrible human being. No, I'm a fucking realist. I'm keeping I'm keeping myself alive.
Dude, in the event of a zombie apocalypse, I hate it when fucking characters do that when they're clearly bitten and they just don't tell anyone. That is the
You are a
correct.
selfish fucking prick if you do.
Yeah,
that.
I hate those. I hate those people. I hate those characters in those shows because it's fucking like you know the scenario. You know, okay, when you're bitten, you turn into a zombie. Why are you hiding it? Oh, because the plot demands it. Fair enough. Well, not fair enough. It's still stupid. But yeah, it's one of those things where no.
Also,
make all the logical decisions.
Also, no offense. Okay, I'm gonna make myself sound like a real asshole. I would also be like that to religious people. I would not let any religious people in because something's gonna happen. They're gonna harp on their religious beliefs. It's gonna fucking snowball, and we get a situation like we got in Silent Hill.
I have. Oh no, I know what you mean with Silent Hill. Yeah.
No, sorry, not Silent Hill. The Mist. Sorry, The Mist. We would have a situation like The Mist.
Oh God, what a film!
Yeah.
Now I'm reminded of him
with that woman who was religious.
Yeah.
She wasn't even over. She was, and keep in mind, she wasn't even overtly religious. But as shit kept going wrong, she kept diving deeper and deeper into her fate, which then, yeah. So
it just made her crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So no. And again, if that makes me sound like an anti-religious person, fine. But again, I do not. This is not me questioning religion. This is me questioning humans.
Yeah, I can appreciate your desire for like covering all the bases.
Yeah, Anyway.
Yeah.
We're,
so after we get the timeline.
Yeah,
I have it here. Rain double checks with Andy to make sure he wants to do this. He goes off about the whole directive. Yes, I'm to do what's best for Rain.
Again, I love how much she cares for him. She treats him so much like a human being.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he isn't just a synthetic that helps around. Like, she legitimately sees him as family. Like,
and
which
the rest of the people besides Bjorn treats him like a human. And again, it tells you very clearly, without even saying it, that they've been around him for a while.
Yeah, like even Tyler, like at a point not long from this point where there's a bit of a reveal regarding Andy. Like he refers to Andy as a good man. Like he doesn't call him a synthetic or an artificial person. He calls him a good man. Like, he sees him as a person.
Yeah.
But so as they're entering the station, they enter the station through this little air vent thing. They check the temperature with this device, and we've learned that the gravity generators are like in a state of
recycling.
Like they're in
they call it recycling or something like that. So that
so it's purging the system every few minutes. So that it's something a station like this does when it's on low power. Like, so it turns the gravity on and back off again.
Yeah, because because I imagine space stations at this point in time are supposed to be self-reliant, which means they can generate their own power. So I imagine they're like the systems, like a fail-safe system when they're abandoning it or as operations, is we need something that will consume power, but in case of emergency, we also need to make sure it turns off as well, so it doesn't completely use up the power. So they need to keep using something. So they will turn on the gravity for what feels longer than because the gravity is on much longer than it's off. From what we've seen. So it is very clear that like they will turn on the gravity for a few minutes, use up some power, turn it back off to conserve power. So like it's just a constant, like it's keeping its energy levels stable.
Yes.
Not too much, but also not too little.
Yeah. God, my chair is creaking. Fuck's sake. And the it's very important as well. This purge sequence. It's important to keep this in mind because it does come up very later on in the film in a very cool way. I
Oh
would
yeah,
say.
it does.
Um,
Back to speaking how good Tyler is. The minute Andy gets the door open, like technically Andy pretty much finished. I think he's done his. No, he has one more job left to do. Because he has to get it to. I think he has to get it to Mother to eject the cryopods.
the cryos, yeah.
Yeah, but like him just simply unlocking the door. Tyler is like, Andy, my man, and he's like,
Yeah,
he's cheering, like he's congratulating him. I'm like, dude, he's you don't have to go that far to make Andy feel better, like good, like.
No, it's just like, yeah, no, because it's one step closer to getting away from the current from the colonies. So it's like, yes, fucking yes, you legend, you beauty.
And immediately Bjorn follows it up with being a dick, like acting like, oh, Andy, high five. And then as soon as Andy goes for it, he's like, psych, take this lie.
Yeah, just shoves it at him. But yeah, so they find the cryopods and they restore gravity, and they come to their new problem, which is that the pods do not have enough fuel. I think they have enough fuel to last them 3 years, and again, as it's stated, 9 years to get to Yavaga. Yavarga, I think is it. I think there's an
sorry,
R.
I do want to get to one of the moments of karma for Bjorn.
Oh, okay, yeah. If you want to bring that up briefly, go on.
Repeatedly in this scene. Now, I would say Bjorn seems like he acts a little cocky. Like he's not immediately grabbing hold of shit like Tyler and Andy does. He's
just having fun floating through the gravity.
Yeah, and the purge happens, which causes him to land square on his fucking back. And you can tell that impact hurt.
Yeah, I mean, he dented a bloody barrel.
Yeah, and then the gravity turns, again, while in pain, this cannot feel good. The gravity turns back off, so again, I would imagine like him then floating up, like that cannot feel good on your back.
Well, I believe the exact words he uses are, "I think I broke my ass."
Yeah, but then eventually the purge rehappens, and he slams back into the crate. Now this time, the second time, he's smart enough to hold on to something.
Wait, does it happen twice?
It does happen twice.
Oh shit, I missed that.
The second time he doesn't go as high up because he actually does realize, oh fuck, and he grabs hold of the crate that's beneath him. But he does slam back into his back again.
Yeah, I think I genuinely think the writers were like, okay, we know that the audience are clearly going to hate this fucker. I hate him when we've written him into the film.
Yeah, and that's not the only moment of karma he fucking gets.
Oh, he gets a good chunk. Chunk.
But yeah, so yeah, they realize shit. We need to feel. This is actually a fairly, in my opinion, realistic hiccup.
Yeah, because again, the station. Oh, first of all, just there is a shot that shows the laser that was used to cut the alien asteroid at the start. So yeah, this is the same station that the alien was brought to. In case you didn't know, because it's an alien movie.
Yeah, I did like that nod, like that first
Yeah, I mean,
there's danger here.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I think it's one of those things where it's very obvious from the get-go this is the same room we saw at the start of the film, but it's like just for some members of the audience that might not have caught up yet, here's the laser. Okay, now back to the crew.
And the whole point is because like obviously some time has gone by since that incident, so there's other clutter in the room.
I think later on we learn it was like 147 cycles ago or something like that. But that could be like days. Oh, he said days.
Yeah.
So that's a few months.
But yeah, so they have a very realistic hiccup, which is the cryopods do not have power. So they still, now I will say, this is clever. Now, they proceed, despite the extra time, keep in mind folks, they still have 36 hours, and it's hardly been even 10 minutes. So they have plenty of time. So Tyler makes actually a very smart decision. He's like, hey guys, I'm going to eject the cryopods now. You pick them up and we'll get the fuel cells.
And you
he's-
meet us at the docking bay closest to the fuel cells.
Yeah.
Because he does. The little scanner he uses to detect like the temperature before they went onto the station shows, oh hey, there's a spike up here. It's gotta be like there's gotta be fuel up ahead. It's like for a cryo chamber or something.
Yeah.
So
Very realistic. Like again, I will say, very smart decision on Tyler's part, because like, yeah, they have 36 hours, which is, as we said, plenty of time, but he is still not taking chances. He's like, pick up the cryopods and then move to pick us up at a closer point. So that way, once we get the once we get the fuel, we're on the ship and we'll fuel the cryopods on the ship.
Yeah.
Like, fair play. That is planning we don't normally see in an alien movie.
Again, after 2 movies of watching like actual professionally trained astronauts
And geologists
make stupid fucking decisions. These I'm assuming they're meant to be like in their
scavengers.
I know they're I think the Corbellin is like a cargo ship, like it transfers ore that I think the miners take.
Yeah, I think that, or they maybe has something to do with the asteroids in orbit of the planet. Like
maybe, yeah.
So maybe there are because like we do. Okay, yeah, there is a mine, but there's also the asteroids. So what possibly happens is they have people go up into space. Some people go up into space with these ships. They collect, rock or whatever. They then bring it down for that to be processed. But they also have miners, mining for other resources.
That honestly makes a lot of sense, actually. That does make I like, because again in there are a lot of sci-fi shows, like there's a book series I read called The Expanse, and they have colonies set up in the Kuiper belt, the asteroid belt, and those colonies are used for mining like ice and stuff like that to bring back to Earth. So it makes sense. So yeah, they go off and to find the fuel, and the pods are picked up, as you say.
Yeah.
And during this time, like when they're walking down the hallway, Tyler, Bjorn, and Andy, a thing, because the power has been restored now. We should have said that. Tyler and Andy restore the power, gravity's back online. So they're walking through the station, and like this voice comes up and says, "Oh, welcome to Renaissance Station." It's split into 2 parts.
Even before that, I do like how Tyler is like he does the military signal for like hold. He even says hold.
Yeah.
And this is very family thing to do. Bjorn completely starts ripping on him. He's like,
what was with that? What the hell was that?
Like the fact that he pauses, he's like, hold on, why are you doing this? Like that is something family would do. Like you'd be like,
yes.
Wait,
well, it's efficient.
And he's like, really, is it?
Oh well, no, but it looks cool.
And then obviously Bjorn says like he's feeling a bit anxious and all that, or he maybe appearing to be anxious. So
yeah,
Andy tries to do something. He
tries to tell jokes to get him to be very calm.
Yeah.
Bjorn's not having it.
Yeah.
And this is where the reveal comes in, where he's just like, I cannot wait to go into cryo because it means that I will never see you again.
No, not quite there yet.
Oh.
This is when this is when Andy accidentally bumps into him.
And, yes, they're walking through the door. Well, yeah,
Bjorn goes complete ape shit. Like, don't.
Yeah, he's about to punch him again, and Tyler breaks it up. A small exchange, but yeah. And
then that.
And so yeah, this is where we learn.
Backstory.
Yeah, where his mom died and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we see them. Let's see, it's just docking. Blah 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 blah.
The shaking of the ship is what triggers Kay to start vomiting, getting sick, and that's where we learn she is pregnant.
Yep.
We don't know who the dad is. She just says some asshole. We don't know who the dad is. Some people thought it was mistakenly thought, oh, it's Bjorn. I was like, but they're cousins, so that wouldn't make any sense. I think it's one of those things where it's a blink and you'll miss it kind of line of dialogue, but some people genuinely forgot Bjorn, Kay, and Tyler were cousins or related.
We see this is when we see that Navarro is religious.
She is.
We don't necessarily. I don't think we necessarily know the religion, but
Oh no, doesn't she pray before the ship takes off?
Yes, but I didn't see a cross or anything, so I don't know what type of religion it is.
Yeah, she's religious anyway, but
She when they collect the pods, she puts her hand on him. She's looking up and she even closes her eyes, like
like
please.
I think it's because we're also seeing. I think because the sun is shining on her as well. Because after Kay reveals to Rain that she's pregnant, one of the lines she said is, "I'm just going to be happy that the baby will be born seeing a sunrise."
Yeah,
and then
again, we're just getting very good establishments of like how desperate this crew is.
yeah, again the motivations for these characters is genuine. I think it's the best motivations to have an alien plot go forward that I've seen in recent alien films.
And the fact that like Navarro is taking a moment to even just simply celebrate, like with a prayer. She is so thankful that they even just managed to get the cryopods. She has taken a moment to pray.
Yeah, like we're one step closer. Like that's it. Nothing is going wrong. We're right there. We're right at the crusp of it.
You can only imagine how hard her life must have been for her to take this simple victory
and just savor it.
Yeah. Then this is when we get the hallway scene where we then get the whole.
It's Renaissance Station. It's separated into two sections: Remus and then Romulus, which is the scientific sector. And then that's where, of course, you're saying Bjorn was like, "Oh, I'm getting nervous," and Andy starts making jokes. Bjorn's not having it, as we established, and he blows up at Andy and basically says that Andy can't go to Yuvaga because it's a non-Wei planet, and
no fake people allowed.
Yeah, no fake people allowed. I think it's because it's Wei. It's either they just don't allow synthetics at all, or it's just Wei. I don't know. But
I think it's
he
any
says
Wayland tech, which I think maybe Wayland Yutani has like. I do feel like besides from the working Joes, I think they're called.
Yes, the working Joes. They are Seekson. They're a different company.
Yeah, I think though because they're not that advanced. I think it could theoretically be more. I don't know if Working Joe would get the term fake people.
Because they are literally just worker androids. They're not meant to.
Whereas you could argue the type of synth that Andy is as a fake person. Now, don't get me wrong, fucking the way Andy acts, he's more human than anyone I could, more than some people I know in real life.
Yeah.
There's some people who will be like, you know what, Andy's more human than you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get this moment where Andy doesn't care. He's just like, oh, okay.
I do what's best for Rain.
Yeah, he genuinely does not care.
Yeah, but it's very clear that Rain, even though he gives this answer, Rain is clearly hurt by it because. Again, she clearly hates that she's leaving him behind, and Navarro's trying to be like, "Oh yeah, but you can't put your life on hold because of Andy. Like, if they find out about him, you'll be arrested or he'll be decommissioned. So it's because basically Andy's purpose once they get the cryopods, I think Tyler was saying Andy's purpose is to just keep watch over them.
Yeah,
basically, like he's to do what David did in Prometheus, basically.
Yeah. But again, though, like, and you gotta love the fact that Andy's just willing to like do it. Again, yes, we know it's his programming, but it's still like, oof. And again, like, and you have to also love Rain for keeping it from him because, like, even though she knows deep down it's not going to hurt his feelings, she loves
him too much to.
Yeah, she's such a caring person. She would still protect him from information that wouldn't upset him. And I
think as we later see with Andy, I think because he does show some emotions, so it's more like maybe it does bother him, but he's kind of holding it back for Rain.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe her dad, like, maybe because of some of the issues that he had, which got him thrown out, and then the patchwork job that her dad did, maybe it did give him some more semblance of autonomy.
Yeah, at least because when he gets his upgrade later on, there is a line he says. We'll get to it later, but it did leave me thinking, maybe Andy did care. But he just because yeah.
Yeah, so this is when we get the moment with Tyler who says like, "You are a good man."
Yeah, because Andy's just like, yeah, I'm doing whatever makes Rain happy is what I'm programmed to, so I'll do that. And yeah, so he's just like, you're a good man. I'm going to miss you.
And he
and
even tells like his cousin, like, he's like, "Are you done?" Because his cousin's still trying to rub salt in the wound.
Yeah, he's clearly he's done. It's kind of one of those things like, yeah, okay, you lost your mom and we're cousins. Fuck off.
Yeah, dude, shut the fuck up.
You're not helping the situation, and you're.
We know that he's not. Sorry for interrupting, but like, I also love the fact that like Tyler looks properly angry, like in this scene. So it's definitely conveying like again, exactly as you said, like, dude, I know we're cousins, but like, shut the fuck up. Because like, he clearly cares for Andy in his own way.
Yeah.
So again, like, it's just
So, yes, they find the lab.
Yeah.
Just to press forward, and during this, so the lab is clearly run down. It's bollocks.
As hell. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been through the ringer. During this point, like Bjorn, he finds like a taser stick, and he jokingly threatens Andy with like, "Oh, I could use it on a synth if they try something like
the juices or something like that." Like,
yeah, if they try something bad or something like that. To which Andy grabs him, and Bjorn's like, "Oh no, I'm just joking." But no, he saved Bjorn from falling down a suspiciously acid-shaped hole.
Oh yeah, and I will say, sorry, I do want to say this because in terms of Bjorn, you can tell he is your stereotypical bully.
Like all bark, no bite.
Yeah, because the minute he feels like Andy is going to do something, he is I love how chicken shit he becomes.
Oh yeah, he bitched out quite quickly. Just, I'm joking.
Yeah, he's completely but then once he realizes, oh, Andy's not doing anything, he immediately shows him. He's like, don't you like
yeah, don't do it. Like he immediately, you just saved me from falling down that hole, but you're an android, so fuck you.
Yeah, he immediately is like, don't do that again, or I'm gonna make you. Like, it's just fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and as they're there, actually, because Bjorn, again, being an asshole, because they do see like a body with like that's just the top half of a body, and upon closer look, Bjorn says, "Oh, thank God, it's not a real person because it's a synth. It's the body of a synth."
But no, again, I just love the amount of karma that hits this guy.
Oh yeah,
like being exposed, like to like, because this is like, I'm not gonna lie, if I knew someone like that in my family, if I saw them bitch out like that,
yeah, you just laugh your arse off.
Yeah, no, I would be locking that. I'll be like, anytime you fucking speak up or you try and embarrass me, dude, I have this fucking story on you. Like, my brother just tried to give me a smart comment the other day. I reminded him that I have a video of him singing the Power Rangers intro when he was a little baby.
Hey, wait, which one?
Lost in Space.
Hey, that's a good song.
You know what, it was, but it's embarrassing for my brother feels embarrassment about it, so therefore it is a silver bullet I have on him.
Yeah, I do have a few there. We all have those embarrassing videos. I'm trying to forget. I still try to forget mine.
But no. But the point is, like, that's what family does. Like, when you have to be careful about acting tough to your family, because you never know when something might happen and they bear witness. Family does not let family forget those embarrassing moments.
Oh God, no. No matter how much we beg them to.
But oh God, now they still do not realize what type of lab they're in or what the cryopods are being used for.
Yeah, for now it's just like, okay, so the signatures are coming from in here. They find the chamber that holds the fuel for the cryo. I think Bjorn makes a line like, but wait, there's no cryopods in here. But Tyler just makes the argument, it's the same fuel. We just need to take a few of them, bring them back to the ship, we're golden.
Yeah, and he checks their charge, I guess.
Yeah, and you realize, there's enough fuel to get them to Yavarga and beyond, I believe. Like, it's got more than enough. And so as they're decoupling it, I think they accidentally open up one of the valves, and Bjorn gets his finger frozen. It doesn't break off, sadly.
Yeah.
Um,
But it does trigger security.
Yep, the door closes. Andy doesn't have the credentials to open it. I think that comes up.
Also, I don't think it was just simply security. That's a containment measure.
Yeah, they think, okay, so cryo has been let out. Okay, yep.
Yeah,
It's close the doors and warn
it's
people.
like it's very much of okay, folks. Just get a little ahead. What is being stored in that room at a very cold temperature?
It's the face.
Our face huggers.
Yeah, and it's not really jumping ahead because literally, as soon as the door closed, like the camera pans to a computer. It's like, oh shit, it's facehuggers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, when you first see it, you think it's just a simple security system. Like, oh, someone's trying to steal something, lock it down. But then when you realize what's in that room and what's happening, you then realize, oh no, that's an automated containment.
Yeah, that's lock it down. We don't need these fuckers getting out.
Yeah, and I will say one of my we're getting to one of my favorite things about this movie, because just to put a spoiler, sorry, just to even jump just a tiny bit ahead, facehuggers were a little bit scary. When I seen facehuggers for the first time, they were a little bit scary, but I never saw them as a credible threat.
You know, they were just the thing to get the alien on into the plot, or in Alien's case, it was just to have a tense scene between Ripley, Newt, and two facehuggers.
Yeah, however, this movie it made me reconsider facehuggers as a plot convenience or a nuisance.
Yeah.
Here's go on.
No, because here's the thing as well. Because I think the difference between these facehuggers and the ones we normally see, I think it's explained later on that those facehuggers were created by gene splicing.
Really?
The xenomorph from the first movies. Yeah, Rook says it. Hold on, I have the line here. Hold on, I'll just read it now, just to get it. Because it's when he's explaining about. Okay, let's see. Micro. Blah blah blah. I had it here. It's the compound contains the genome. Shit. Damn it! I had it right here. Like he says a line. So I'm going to read this. Waiting at I believe it will help them. Shit. Right. Damn it. No, there's a line that Rook says where he's like, he gene spliced.
I should have thought they're just he's referring to like the rat maybe, or no.
No. I could have sworn I wrote this down.
No, again, because I have the team playing back, eventually we will get to it. Or you might find it before then, later down the line. But yeah, no. But anyway, folks, my main point is, they make the facehuggers scary. Which, I'm like, oh my fucking god. Like,
oh, no, I have it. Sorry, I found it. In the parasitoids, the parasitoids, referring to the facehuggers, I bioengineered from xeno DNA. I discovered a unique non-Newtonian fluid. So yeah, he created Rook created the facehuggers in this movie using the DNA from the dead xeno from the first film.
So he spliced a creature with its own species, in a sense.
Using
just different stages of their life.
Yeah, basically he was able to recreate a facehugger using just the elements of the Xeno's DNA.
Okay, yeah. So and technically they're not true facehuggers, I guess, because again they're not from the eggs.
Yeah. As evidenced by the fact that someone gets implanted not long after the scene, and that facehugger is still alive.
Yeah.
Like it runs off. So I'm just because that was my first thought. I was like, wait a minute, those things are meant to just crawl off and die.
Yeah, but then maybe it does crawl off and die, because like also keep in mind that's how they also know. There's a scene later where he's like, yeah, but there's no dead facehugger next to her.
Yeah, again,
It's
that's
so I think what happened there was, the like I don't think like they I think in often the case they like I think there was some level of still self preservation there, so it fled, but it would probably would have died shortly afterwards.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, just take it as read that
Yeah,
it's
because
dead,
like we
basically.
don't
Yeah.
know because we don't know they die immediately after they get the job done. We only because again we always see them after the fact.
Yeah, because I suppose the one that had impregnated Kane in the first film had lived long enough to crawl off of his face and crawl up into
Yes.
the rafters. So
Yeah.
there is that. Okay, then fair enough.
Yeah.
Um,
But no, but it's because again also we always see them in their jump scare type situation.
yeah,
Oh, but again, I to me I absolutely like I loved and me and my brother absolutely loved how threatening a facehugger has become.
yeah, and again, that's not to say like I think Aliens was the last time they actually made the facehuggers threatening with that whole the med lab scene between Ripley and Newt.
Yeah,
It was very intense, but this is one of those times where they're scary.
yeah, because
Like in Aliens, it was intense. In this,
Yeah.
it was actually genuine. Like, oh god, no, fuck off.
and also you also get a good sense of the force that they can jump with.
Yeah, because again,
They break
Aliens, it was just
glass.
like two. Yeah, like in Aliens, it was just two of them. In this one, like clearly they're stronger, but also it's a fuck ton of them. Like
Yeah.
I think they're also well like they kind of move like spiders, and I hate that.
Oh yes, yes. We also get. I will say we do get a decent explanation of like how they hunt, which leads to a very stressful moment and a very stressful call. like
Yeah. Again,
Um,
because remember, like, I'll actually just bring this up now. Because remember, like when we were talking about Alien 3, and the biggest thing point I had against it was that it never offers anything new in terms of like alien lore or Romulus. Romulus, it does its best to do that. Like it gives us some new additions to lore. It gives us a new addition to the alien life cycle. It gives us a new thing regarding the facehuggers, like the fact that
they will
Oh, that-
actively hunt.
yeah, and
to
because
impregnate.
they're blind, they rely on sound, but primarily heat, which is why they're able to immediately hone in on a target.
It's also why we see them typically ignore scents. I will say I do
Yeah.
love as the whole process is going about of them, collecting the fuel. We constantly cut back to the containers, and we are seeing the temperature rise. Like, it's a nice level of tension. Like instead of giving us a countdown type thing, like us seeing that percentage, like right now, what I'm looking at, we're at -20. Then it's going down then rapidly by seconds, as
Yeah.
because again it was a jump. It was a sudden jump to whatever it was, then to -20, and
Yeah.
then it starts going down. Like because again, keep in mind, folks, human body. Like if you ever notice that if you're ever at a party or a gathering, the room will slowly start to feel like warmer and warmer. That's because humans, we are radiating body temperature. So,
Yeah, we generate heat.
Yeah.
So
the two people being in there while taking out the cooling, like
it's going to start causing things to heat up much quicker. And Andy as well, like he notices, but he doesn't voice anything, but he does. He sees the things holding the facehuggers.
Yeah,
And
I love how just as he's about to point it out to the other two, that's when they give him the upgrade ship, which causes him to reboot.
And so he has to reboot. It's like, oh, that's just bad timing.
Yeah,
because
that's like what I said, bad luck.
Because that is the plan. That is basically Rain and Navarro. They docked to a point in the station that's close to the lab, literally just down the hall from it, basically.
Yeah,
and they run into the lab. Basically, Rain. What's the word?
She spots the scent.
Yeah, she sees the dead synth. She's like, okay, I'm going to take its credentials out. I'm going to give it to Andy. That should get him to open the door.
Yeah, because that's why he can't open the door again. Is because he doesn't have the credentials.
Yeah, he doesn't have the access.
Like Mother is recognizing, like, oh yeah, you are Wayland Yutani property, but you're clearly a synth that is designed for something else. This is above what you're designed to handle.
Yeah, you don't have access here, so don't even try. And as she's trying to get the credentials, the thing attacks her. Well, before it attacks her, Navarro finds like an X-ray stick, which is very clearly just put there for what happens later on. Like it only comes into play for this one kind of rule of cool factor. I'm just like, okay,
we are now. Clear. Sorry, then we cut back to the room, and we see that the temperature is now at its highest, 66 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, so the facehuggers are starting to melt. They're not out yet, but they are starting to.
Yeah, and the temperature's just rising.
Yeah, and so like when Rain's trying to take out the disc, the synth attacks her, or it doesn't attack her, but it tries to scream. Yeah. Navarro helps. She removes the chip. The synth shuts down, and I should say the synth is oddly Ian Holm shaped.
Yes, I love the delay of that reveal.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's. I think he was. I was going to make a Bilbo joke, but I thought no, I'll leave it.
I will say the cut back to the thing does give us a great scope of just how many there are, like of how
there's a lot.
Danger. And there's. Hold on, let me go back. Hold on, 10 seconds. I'll pause it. There's how many rows that we can see in this clip? There are 3 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we're looking at 4 rows, 4 confirmed rows on one side, folks. So that's 6 times 4. That is 24. And then double that for the other side, like assuming there's only 2 sides, like 2. No, it's really not. It's clearly more. I think it's like at least quadruple that. So, so 24 on one side, across the wave is another 24. So 48 facehuggers alone, bare minimum. Sorry, that's minimum, folks. 48 facehuggers. Minimum. Now, I think the racks that they're on probably holds 2 sets, one on the left, one on the right.
No, I thought that. I think what it is because it looks like it's just like almost like vacuum packed, if that makes sense. So they're frozen in this vacuum packed seal, like because it looks like it's just a lumpy thing.
No. What I mean is in terms of other side. Like let's say you have like how in you have 2 sides to an aisle.
Yeah.
Like, I think on the other side are more of the vacuum packed things. Vacuum packed facehuggers. Again, it's hard to explain it without visual aids.
Sorry, do you mean the containers that they fall out of?
No. I mean the things that are holding up the containers.
Oh, those things. Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, so we can. So that's why I said 48 minimum, potentially double.
Possibly, yeah. And so yeah, in this time, like the Rain gives the chip to Tyler. He puts it into Andy. Andy enters his reboot state.
Just Rain as he was about to warn them.
Yep, and as soon, not like a minute later, the facehuggers escape their frozen prison, and they start wandering around and attacking.
Yeah, because they let's see. I'm trying to get a good. So yeah, Andy knows what's happening. He opens up his thing. Once the chip is okay, sorry, I was mistaken. He doesn't go about to warn them. He never actually attempts to warn them. He looks and then nothing happens.
I think it was just he's more so just looking out of curiosity.
Yeah,
because he doesn't understand.
Okay, yeah, so they're definitely on both sides, but I don't know if there's any more on the opposite side of each of the things.
Yeah. Also, in regards to Andy being his reboot state, I don't know what effect they do, but his head movements are very, very good. Like they're very
Yeah.
animatronic. I actually like it. I don't know what effect they did to do that, but it was well done. So yeah, the facehuggers escape, and there's this big this big tense moment where they're attacking. I
Yeah,
think Tyler.
underwater.
No, not Tyler. Yeah. Both Bjorn and Tyler almost get facehugged respectively. Tyler almost actually gets the tube in his mouth, and then Bjorn comes and zaps the facehugger off his face, which also in turn knocks him out.
Yep, because Bjorn, it was a real clever idea to use that electrical-based weapon when you're surrounded by water, and
Yeah,
when it's
also-
also right on top of your cousin.
I will say stupid, but panicking. So I kind of.
Yeah,
And again, I'm going to get into. I actually want to get into that quite early because what precedes the scene is some choices that are made. They are stupid choices, but
they're also
unlike
the past. These are children, basically.
yeah, because the all of the actors are like in their mid to late 20s, so I'm assuming the characters themselves are meant to be in their 20s or at the very least early 20s. But yeah, these are not professionally trained. Like they're not space truckers, they're not colonists, they're not scientists. They're not in terms of like the Covenant colonists. Like they're not like military trained or anything like that.
Yeah.
These are just like a group of scavengers. They're a group of ore miners, whatever. They
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying
they're
I'm not saying they're minors. I'm not saying they're like young, but like they are significantly younger than anyone
the other
we
cast
ever
had,
seen.
yeah.
Yeah. Besides,
yeah, they're
from
clearly
New.
meant to be kids. Yeah.
Anyone besides New, is much older than these guys.
Yeah. These guys are clearly still like they're very. I think even again, I think it's one of those cases where even though the actors are like in real life older, I think the characters themselves are meant to be a little bit younger. So maybe these guys are maybe just in their early 20s. We'll say. Well,
Yeah, at the youngest,
yeah.
early
Yeah.
20s. Mind you, Bjorn strikes me as a little bit younger because like the way his mustache is, it's like little wisps.
Yeah, maybe it's just like
it's
19,
just,
19 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's just growing in.
Yeah.
Which will
So
sort of explain his sort of like, I'm going to act like tough attitude, like, but then be a chicken shit.
basically. But yeah, so that's why like stupid decisions are made by a few of these characters, but I can buy it. I can
Yes.
buy them making these decisions more than I buy a geologist and a xenobiologist getting lost and saying, "Oh, come here, baby," to a clearly evil death snake.
And the geologist, like, forgetting that he mapped out getting lost while his puppies were supposed to have mapped out the entire fucking facility.
Yeah. So again, I can believe that the stupid decisions made in this movie a little bit more because it's
Yeah.
coming from It's coming from these characters who are not professionally trained. They're in a scenario they have never been experienced to.
And again,
They're just workers.
Like,
They're-
in all
they're-
fairness, folks, keep in mind, even in the original Holy Alien movie, The Gospel of Alien, they made stupid decisions as well. Like, they broke
Yeah.
quarantine.
But again, just like Romulus, they do make sure to have an organic reason. Like the reason quarantine is broken, Ash let Kane and the others in.
Yeah, Sorry, go on.
The reason why Kane gets face hugged to begin with. First of all, he's wearing a spacesuit, so he thinks, okay, I'm wearing protection, so if anything jumps out, at least I've got this, and I've also got a weapon, so whatever happens, I'm fine. Oh shit, it's fast, it's quick as a flash. Oh fuck, I'm dead.
Or even
or in face.
and again, like even in his own curiosity, because again, like he does lean in super fucking close to that initial egg.
Yeah, but he's taking his time. He's like, okay. More, in other movies, they just dip their faces right into it.
Oh god, yeah. But the point is, though, like that's a stupid decision. So
It is.
like this whole franchise is built on how stupid humans are. And we are
But again,
quite
like,
stupid.
yeah. But again, in the case of Alien, and I will say Romulus, very organic. It's believable stupidity.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, even in Aliens, like what's it? The lieutenant, Gorman, like he tells them, okay, when they're in the what's it called?
Dropship?
The
The armored
no, not
truck?
the drop ship. the terraforming processing plant, the processing plant. That's it. They find Ripley says to him, well, if they fire in there, they're going to cause a fucking nuclear reaction. So his decision is, all right. Smart decision is, okay, all those rounds that are armor piercing and could cause the reactor to blow up, don't use them. Don't only use incinerators and non-explosive rounds. He doesn't say that because he's an inexperienced lieutenant, and instead just tells them not to shoot things.
Yeah.
And stupid decision, but again, organic.
Yeah,
because
he doesn't warn them. Like, and he's also so inexperienced.
It's in keeping with his character. So again, it's one of those things where like Romulus is kind of, again, like as you said, they're going back to form a little bit where they're trying to make these stupid decisions believable, and they're trying to like again. So far, like in terms of like character motivations, in terms of the writing, so character motivations, very well established and very believable, and immediately gets you hooked.
Yeah.
Stupid decisions made again with how the characters are established in terms of like environment and age and what they do. Again, I can believe it, especially given that Bjorn is responding to a character he hates.
Yeah.
Like his actions are in response to the actions of a character he hates, so that's why he's acting the way he is. So like, okay, I can buy it. I can absolutely buy it. And...
Andy finally gets his upgrade, saves Tyler in a badass way.
Yeah, he grabs a facehugger and just fucking throws it.
Yeah, well,
yeets it across the room.
He quickly gets to the door. He helps Tyler up. He helps Bjorn up. They get to the door. He opens it. They immediately close it. They realize, oh shit, they're smashing the fucking window.
Run.
And this is the first moment. Okay, already the sort of scare factor is a bit up there, but it's very much Aliens. So you're like, okay, they're gonna once the facehuggers are out of are in the hallways, a bit more manageable, or like once they are out of the water, a bit more manageable because you can see them, you can easily handle them.
Nope.
Oh god, no.
Not only do they move fast, they're strong enough to break through glass.
Yeah, they break through the glass, and and again, the way you described them moving, yes, they are so. The way they move is so much more scary. Now
it is. It's like spiders coming out of a nest. Like that's. Yeah. But yeah. And yeah, they manage to seal the door, but one facehugger manages to get through, and it latches onto Navarro, the pilot.
Oh, and it's a blink and you miss it, because like if you don't pay close attention, you'll think, oh yeah, no, it's Tails' car, or like they're all closed up, but no, it barely makes it through and immediately jumps.
Yep, and latches onto her, and again they do the whole spiel that they do with all alien movies: try to get it off. Oh no, the tail's strangling her. Don't do anything. And at this point, this is where Andy has shown his complete personality change. He's like, because they're like, it's killing her, we have to get her off. And he's like, no. I surmise that given the way the glands on either side of it are pumping in the same way, it's providing her with oxygen, meaning it's keeping her alive. I don't know why, but it's keeping her alive.
His intelligence skyrockets. Also, any kind of he had a speech impediment. He stuttered quite a lot, and he took pauses in the way he talks as well. But now none of that's there. He is not stuttering. He is not pausing. He is speaking with purpose and conviction.
I was thinking about it yesterday after watching the movie, and I think I've described. I think I've split it down to normal Andy is socially awkward autism. Way you, Andy, is high functioning like hyperfixation autism.
Yeah,
because he is hyperfixated on the task. Like, no, we're doing this. No, we're doing this. Come on, no, this is. And by the way, before people say, "Oh, this," we're both on the spectrum. It's cool.
Yeah, we're like, again, the reason why we sometimes talk over each other is because like we're hyperfixating because this is a thing we're interested in. That's why we're hyperfixating on all this shit. It's because we're autistic. You should hear me.
So
you should hear me rant about the double-ended lightsaber.
Oh, that was funny, but we can't talk about that anymore.
Well, we can't.
Sadly,
I can't talk about it. Just not in the context that I talked about it in that old video. If I was to do a whole separate rant just focusing on just the lightsabers, and just Star Wars, it's cool.
Sure. Do you know what I remember?
Sure,
Do you remember as
the
well?
problem was it was because I was also talking about in the context of the topic. That's
Yes.
where I got. That's where I got in trouble.
Yeah, it's all been sorted now. But anyway,
Yeah. But
um,
you know,
but
I could
yeah,
still.
so
I
like,
would still talk at lengths in terms of the
but
Star
yeah,
Wars universe about that.
dude, do you not remember that? Like, we had that very long conversation about trying to find out why Sakura doesn't work.
Oh god, yeah. Oh,
That was
folks,
that was so fun.
oh god, folks. Oh, again, like we sort of went down the same type of thing as fucking again, one of my favorite YouTube channels, which sort of inspired this segment, Super Colin Brothers with their because they do what ifs, and one of my favorite what ifs is what if Harry was in Slytherin, and we basically went down that same type of rabbit hole with Sakura.
Just Naruto for Sakura, and we kind of came to the conclusion that because I studied writing and I love because I want to be a writer, so like English literature and writing and story structure are very fascinating to me. And one thing I always ask myself when I'm writing is, okay, this character or this scenario, if I remove it, does anything change? And if the answer is no, then the character in the scenario was not needed. And Sakura fits that description to a T.
Yeah, again, Sakura, she wasn't
pre-Shippuden.
Yeah. But again, she wasn't initially intended. Like Hinata was supposed to be in her place. And again, like if the story was going to be a good bit different with Hinata, because Hinata was meant to be the main protagonist, there would have been more fleshing out between her and Naruto. But again, the author wanted to go a different approach because he didn't want the lead female with the lead male.
I think we should probably we should do a video talk about that at some point,
like
because
what if Hinata was on team Kakashi?
That and just breaking down just why Sakura was fucking useless.
Yeah, at some point.
Because I'm going to have to brush up on my Naruto knowledge though, because again, I played the games and I've read some of the volumes, not arsed watching the anime, because there's too many episodes, but because in both the dub and the sub, I despise Naruto's voice.
Fair enough. I'm the same way with Japanese Goku.
Oh, I've heard his voice. Yeah.
Yeah. Goku is one of those rare moments I do prefer it's a rare moment where I do prefer the English dub voice actor. Like even in Bleach, with Ichigo's voice actor, both Japanese and English, I can take either or. They are both very talented.
Hold on, is Ichigo's voice actor Johnny Young Bosch?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Black Ranger is Ichigo.
Yeah,
cool.
I know. Also Nero from Devil May Cry and Dante from Devil May Cry.
Yep.
I still find that hilarious. He went from Nero in Devil May Cry 4 and 5 to them playing Dante
in the show.
Yeah. I'm like now, mind you, he is a big fan of the franchise, so
yeah, it makes sense. He's a good voice, and he's a talented voice actor.
Oh yeah, but it's just funny. And
absolutely.
He also as part of the promotional thing they did, like, what's his line? Like, because he would basically do it like an Ichigo line or a Dante line, and or a Nero line, and the idea is like, who said what? And some of them also asked him, hey, deliver this Dante line, but as Ichigo. And there is actually a difference. There is a difference. It's mostly in the personality and the delivery. But, like, I will say, it does show, like, yeah, he's one of those voice actors that has a memorable voice. But, like, you can tell that he can do, like, the deliveries will be different. It's all about the attitude of like, he does take into account the attitude of the character when he gives out a line. So you will recognize his voice, but, like, there will be differences between his characters, you know? Anyway.
So back to this. Sorry.
Back to Romulus.
So Andy, after he explains the whole thing with the chip and stuff like that, they're trying to think of they ask him, like, okay, do you know how to take it off? He says genuinely, like, he has no idea. Like, the chip is only improving his AI and his motor functions and stuff like that.
It doesn't increase his knowledge banks.
Yeah, it's his knowledge is still very limited. But he says there is someone in this room who will know, and that's when they.
I will say there's another clue. that you missed about
Oh?
something's not right with Andy.
Oh?
With this moment, when Rain approaches him, because she has a little bit of concerns about the chip.
Oh yeah, she goes to take it off, and he immediately says, "No, it's fine." And
Yeah, no,
I
the
can
way he
keep it in.
snaps at her hand as well to catch her hand, like.
Oh yeah, just like, yep, no, keep it in. It's doing wonders.
Yeah,
Because
oh
I
yeah,
think later on in this same scene, then after Bjorn attacks him, I think he says like, "Now I can, now you can, I can protect you the way I'm supposed to. Now you don't have to worry about me anymore," kind of thing. So this is clearly before the directive has been his directive has been changed, which we're going to get into in a bit.
I will say though, it is like, so you could take that moment, like this moment, as a bit of a foreshadowing. You know.
Oh yeah, of what's to come. Yeah.
Yeah, because normally he probably would have just allowed Rain to, open up his thing. But like now, something is telling him, no,
Don't.
no.
Yeah. Which is clearly, as soon as he had the Wei Yu thing in, when I saw the film for the first time, I was like, okay, this is either going to be an Ash situation or a Bishop situation or something somewhere in between.
We got something in between, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. He's clearly, again, he's very for the company, but he's not, I'm going to kill you to get what I want for the company,
Yeah.
He doesn't pull an Ash completely. They don't just rip the Ash thing off. But yeah, so they reactivate Rook, and it's
Well,
okay, so
there is also a moment of where Bjorn has another brilliant, again, it is chalked up. I will say you are right. They are young, they are panicky, so he is going to make the stupid decision, which is, I'm going to take this cattle rod and shock it off. And Annie's like, don't. If you do that, it will then snap her neck.
yeah, because it's muscles are going to tense. That's like I think police officers were told as well. Like if someone is pointing a gun at you, don't tase them because their muscles will contract and they will pull the trigger.
Yeah.
So it's similar thing here. Like
Also,
that thing will break his fucking neck.
It also happened in Iron Man 3, where he saves the people that are falling out that fell out of the airplane. He starts he starts sending a current down all their arms so that they will
Does
tense.
he?
Yeah, he will then, because like he grabs one. He's like, okay, I'm going to you grab the other person, and I will send a current. You won't let go. I'll send a current down your arm, because he's sending mild electrical currents into them so that they will tense up once they grab hold of the next person.
I never noticed that.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, that's. I
think to be fair, I've watched that movie like twice. So.
It's the worst one. Like, again, that movie suffered from the fact that Robert Downey Jr. was trying to get out of the role.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that's the worst one because the director of that movie is the director of The Predator, the fourth Predator movie they made. Shane Black,
which is weird because I enjoyed The Predator. So again, I think it's just due again. As I said, I think the problem with Iron Man 3 is it was just suffering from the fact that the lead actor didn't want to do it.
Yeah, and then they do give me lots of money and I'll keep doing it. But anyway, yeah. So they reactivate Rook around this point. And it's a CGI de-aged Ian Holm, who sadly he did pass away before this movie was released. But I know there was a lot of controversy regarding it, like, oh my god, that's so disrespectful to him and the characters. Ian Holm's wife had said that she had signed off on it because I think she said like, as he got older, Ian Holm felt that he had kind of like the Hollywood and all that had basically just forgotten him. Like they decided, no, you're too old now, we're not going to use you, kind of thing. And Ash was one of the roles he actually did like playing outside of Bilbo, obviously. So she was like, okay, so to honor the character and to honor his legacy within the films, like she's like, you have my permission to use his likeness. And
that's sweet.
Yeah, and I don't now. Yes, in the Amazon version that I watched and in the cinema, it is the CGI isn't great, and it's a blend of I was watching behind the scenes. It was a mixture of puppetry and CGI. But in the DVD release, they did tweak it a bit to make it look a bit better. Like they tweaked the lighting to make it look a little bit make him look a little bit more like he's in the shadows, so that the animation kind of blends a bit better, basically. But
I wonder what the Disney Plus is using.
That's a good question, because the Amazon version I'm watching, it's the film version before they changed it. So
Yeah,
it is still
curious because
Yeah.
Disney tends to use their most current versions of the movies, like.
yeah, which is because I was kind of expecting like a because like Tarkin from Rogue One wasn't bad actually.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
But so I was kind of expecting that. But and then of course they have a voice actor doing a pretty good Ian Holm impression.
Really?
I will say.
Yeah, I thought it would have been AI.
No, I think as far as I'm aware, it was because I know I think it's the same voice actor who voiced Ash for Alien Isolation as well. For context, there is DLC in Alien Isolation where you get to play as the cast from the first film.
Oh.
And yeah, because they get him because this voice actor for Rook sounds a lot like that voice actor. So I'm just like, okay, maybe they got the same one.
Interesting.
But yeah, so as far as I'm personally, I don't mind it. It's an Ash model of Android. We've seen that canonically there is more than one version of the same kind of Android. So you've got like Bishop has like different version, multiple different copies of him. David has like what was the Covenant version called?
David, blanking on it. I'm blanking on it.
Oh God, I was
Oh,
gonna say Wallace, but it's not Wallace.
no.
Walter.
Walter. Yep. There
That's
you go.
it, Walter. So yeah, you've got David and Walter. So of course, Ash and Rook, I'm okay with it. Like I don't mind that kind of. Again,
I am sort of curious. Why the different names?
I suppose to differentiate, because even though they're like the same model, I suppose you still need a different name so you can know who you're talking to, kind of thing.
I suppose.
Yeah, because again, they could be made for two different things. Like Ash, for example, like he was the science officer in terms of like the doctor. So like his knowledge scientifically could have just been like human anatomy and then whatever dealing with the aliens. Rook might be higher up in that regard.
Yeah.
Like he has a lot more knowledge in how to.
Oh no, I can definitely imagine that. But yeah. I would just be like, why not just refer to all of them as Ash?
Yeah, well, I suppose in that regard,
because you would only need a different name if you have multiple of the same model on board your ship.
Well, I suppose in that regard, that could just be down to if we called this robot Ash, it would be too much.
Yeah,
like it would just be because it already is borderline member berries. It is like, oh hey, member Ash, member Ian Holm from Alien. Again, personally for me, I don't mind this as much. I don't mind that connection to the first film regarding like this make of Android, especially because it's before the events of Aliens, so it's before the Bishop type and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think again the CGI could have been a bit of an bit better. I think a lot of people were saying.
Again, maybe it was maybe the CGI wasn't up to snuff because they were trying to really be light on it because they know because again there are a lot of people out there who are very hostile towards CGI,
or at least the CGI in this regard. Because I know at the time of making the film, I think Ian Holm was still alive. So I think then he tragically passed away then before they finished the film. But like if it comes to like using CGI to bring like dead actors back to because I know there's a film coming out.
I've seen people who are just against CGI altogether.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like just
yeah, and that was one of the that was the way people were for they were the people that were the most vocal about the hatred on the prequel series.
Which don't even use that. I think the only one that uses the most is like Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, but again. But the thing is, people saw CGI and they're like, "Yeah, no, they don't like it."
It's lost the charm. Yeah, I can understand. Like, I think
there are people, there are the purists out there.
Yeah. Now I do think there is a bad way. I think, like for example, the MCU, especially the more recent stuff, I think they use too much CGI to the point where everything just kind of looks flat and like it's not real kind of thing. But like. then you've got something like, again, Alien Romulus. Like there is CGI in the film, particularly like when it comes to the exterior shots of the station and the planet, something like that. But because it's used sparingly, it does feel more real. Like it feels like this is a physical location. This is a place that you could go to, kind of thing. In that regard. But no, I wasn't aware that there were people that's like, even if it's CGI on that level, like, but again, like,
again,
I can
they're
understand
purists.
Yeah,
like that's what they refer to themselves as. They refer to themselves as purists.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I love a good practical effect. I do want to see miniatures come back and be used, which is why I love Blade Runner 2049, because they go back to using miniatures for like the exterior shots of like the city and stuff like that.
But there are some moments when CGI is sort of necessary.
Yeah, like it's necessary to like touch it up and stuff like that.
For example, we wouldn't get badass Yoda fight scenes without CGI. Can you imagine trying to do that as a fucking puppet?
Yeah.
Or, like, yeah, no.
No.
Like, and again, there are going to be also some type of alien species that, like, if you wanted them to move, like, somewhat decently and not obviously like a puppet, you can't really have them. See, with puppet scenes, the problem with puppets in general is they have to be fixed to a location. Like, no, you can have them puppets move, yeah, but they're locked to that one, like into a sitting position or a standing position.
Yeah, like it is hard to get that natural movement from a lot of them. Now, again, a lot of movies do. Again, like the face huggers in Aliens, like they were like in during the med lab scene when they're loose and Ripley and Newt are trapped. Like, yeah, there were practical effects and they were animatronics, but they did it well. Like with how they did it, they got them to move a little bit naturally and stuff like that. And but those are like because they're the small scale.
Yeah,
and because they were small scale, that it was easier for them to move around with that. And you do kind of get that with the facehuggers in this movie. Like it's clear that they're all practical effects, but there is that level of like they're using the movements as sparingly as possible, so you don't just see it's clearly just a puppet.
And they only use the CGI when you're getting like the big hallway scenes, like where there's swarms of them.
Yeah. Same with the use of the xenomorph in this movie. Like it is mostly practical effects and a guy in a suit and puppetry, but for certain shots they do go back to CGI. But again, it's used in such a way where it blends naturally. Like it works in that regard. But yeah,
I will say fair play to the wife though for trying to help immortalize her husband. She's immortalizing him within a franchise, like a very specific franchise. But like, again, if it was one of his favorite performances of his career, then yeah, like that'd be a good way to immortalize him.
Yeah, and again, this is coming from her, so it is just her word.
Yeah.
Take that how it is, but yeah, and again, as far as like this thing goes, it's again personally, I don't mind it. I liked the use of Rook in it. I think I do think like I can understand like a lot of people are making the argument in terms of the CGI thing. It might have been better because they had shots where he was clearly just a silhouette in the shadows, and you could tell it was Ian Holm, like it was an Ian Holm silhouette. People thought maybe just have it be like that, like the shots where he's talking, it's the puppet moving, but it's his face is like covered in shadow, and that might have made it work a little bit better. Again, it all comes down to execution. I can maybe understand that idea. But then
why is he always in like? Would the again? I feel like why would they put his remains again? It depends on as you said, depends on execution. Why would they put his torso or head in the shadows when they're going to speak to it?
Yeah. Again, I suppose you could write it in like the lights are a bit dimmer or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, again, how they did it, I don't mind it. I think it's decently enough executed. The voice actor does a good job of doing an Ian Holm impression. But yeah, he's... What's the word? So when they turn him on...
Sorry, like, I do want to say, I do like how he's... Okay, he's still very much like... It's going to be no surprise that he is going to be somewhat antagonistic with the heroes.
Yeah.
But I do like how he's more antagonistic in terms of like manipulation and intelligence, as opposed to I'm just gonna brute force my way. like sort of the way
Yeah.
he was in the original Aliens.
Yeah, well, because I think with Ash, it was like, yes, first it was manipulation and tactics, and then when all else failed, brute force was the last resort kind of thing.
Whereas
And
in this case, it is all
yeah,
intelligence.
because he can't be brute forcey in this
Yeah.
because he's just a torso.
Yeah. Good luck.
And but when they activate him, it's like they ask him what do we do, and like he's rambling on about, oh, it's got to keep my mission, oh, the compound, oh, keep it safe, and Andy's like, oh no, I'm sorry, but your mission has failed.
Oh no,
and
yeah, and then he's like, and then when they finally get through them, like, hey, we need advice. He's just like,
kill her. Yeah, like he's just straight to the point. If you do not kill her, you're all dead.
Yeah. And again with the perfect organism talk.
Yes, because he goes on to explain what happened. And she's like, "Oh yes, so this ship in the Zeta Reticuli system, it found an alien organism. The Nostromo crew, they came into contact with it. Of the 7 crew members, 1 survived. She blew the creature out of the airlock, and we've spent years finding it. The perfect organism."
Like,
and I will say that's another line. The perfect organism line. Yes, it's a very famous line from the first film, but I think it's
because
they use
Covenant and Prometheus.
Covenant. Yeah. Well, not so much
not
Covenant.
Prometheus.
Covenant uses the line a few times, and then
Yeah.
Romulus using it. I was like, okay, don't turn this into the I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
Like, don't. Yes, okay, yes. The xenomorph is the perfect organism. It is one of those things where they're starting to use the line to the point where it's lost its meaning.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
much.
please stop doing that.
Especially considering how often at this point we've actually seen the creatures die.
Yes.
Like
they're perfect until they meet a bullet.
Yeah, because us, the viewer. Now, don't go wrong. In terms of environmental hazards, perfect, possible. Except until they sort of clear out everything on a fucking planet, and then they have to go into like basically dormant states until new life forms stumble upon them.
Mm-hmm.
Which again I would argue is not exactly perfect.
No.
Which is why
I suppose it does show that the alien has the weapon of patience.
Yeah, and again though, there's also the whole, like, again, as I said, David even in my opinion improves on their breeding, like their life cycle.
Oh no, yeah,
as we talked about, we talked about like how he made them so much more fucking deadly.
Yeah, like the spore system and
versus the facehugger.
Yeah, and the neomorphs, the white ones, like just like like they're a bit more. They are a bit more fragile because they, again, like the security guards in that movie, they didn't have pulse rifles yet it took a few love taps from those rifles and it still died.
But again, see, this is why I wish we got like a documentary-esque episode where he explains why he ended up with what he considered perfect.
Yeah, and again, that's the downside to the Prometheus. What would have been the Prometheus trilogy is, like, I think the reason why we didn't get that full explanation is because they wanted to veer away from aliens. Again, it was all about the androids this time. Which, like, don't do that.
No.
Which again, we're going to get into it, but Romulus does retcon a lot of Covenant.
Oh yeah, it does.
Which I'm so happy for.
It basically retcons them in the fashion that the xenomorphs we get in Covenant are a split off chain.
Yeah, they derail the idea that Ridley Scott wanted David to be the creator of the Xenos. Now, the Xenos have always existed. It's just that what we saw in Covenant was a different breed. So, like, I am perfectly happy with that.
It's
now.
equating to, say, jackals and wolves. Both are predatory dogs, but they clearly, at some point in their evolution, they split off.
Yeah.
I should have used with the way Xenomorph. Sorry, I should have used jungle cats as better as a more of an example, like, a lion and a cheetah.
So yeah, I'm happy enough with that when it comes to.
Oh yeah.
the retcon. Like it's what's the word?
It keeps it instead of instead of adopting the policy of, oh yeah, just ignore these movies.
It didn't happen.
It explains away that no, that those movies still happened. What happens in those movies is still canon. It's just that it's not the origin that you think it is.
Yeah, which I'm happy. I'm more than happy to accept. Again, personally, I would have been. I'm kind of in the vein of like the sequel trilogy. I'm like ignore them completely, but I'm okay with just a kind of a soft rebooting of them. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
so
we get an explanation of like how the whole was formed, and what true horror is about to meet them if they don't kill their friend. When he then looks to a corner of the room, and he then explains how much of a horror it was to the scientists and possibly to himself. We don't know if he would feel such a thing. That the xenomorph that they picked up wasn't quite as dead as they thought it would be. It was very much just dormant.
Yeah, I think he explains it as it slowed down its metabolism to survive in deep space.
Yep, and then once it realized it was somewhere safe,
it wreaked havoc.
Yeah,
we actually did. I think Fede Alvarez co-wrote it as well. We did get a prequel comic explaining what happened to the station before it arrives on the planet. It's very stupid.
Oh, okay.
Like it basically like it's one of those things where, because I remember when Romulus was first announced, I thought that the alien they'd be facing would be Big Chap from the first movie. Like I thought that's what this is going to be. It's going to be like, okay, so Big Chap survived. It's now roaming in another station, and this is its second wind basically. And now these characters have to go and try.
Would have been cool. I will say it would have been sort of cool to see him. Like, just seeing this xenomorph with a harpoon running around, like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the harpoon is still inside it, by the way.
And
the acid blood didn't melt it in half or anything.
Yeah, and the fact that... Actually, yeah, the harpoon should have been gone. But also, it would have been... I would say it would have been scary if you saw this creature that had a very visible fucking major wound, and it's still fucking causing hell.
Yeah, and keep in mind,
that would add to the fear factor. You'd be like, what the fuck? You have that harpoon in your chest and you're still killing everyone.
Like, so, yeah, Big Chap was spaced, harpooned, blasted with, like, the jet fuel from a rocket ship, and then, pardon me, shot with a pulse rifle. He did not have a good week.
Oh, yeah. And he still wipes out a fucking space station. To the point where then apparently they managed to pin him down somewhere. We don't know how. The Marines then all pretty much get into a firing squad, I can imagine, and riddled him with like the state he is left in.
Yeah. So that's So I think it was one Marine managed to shoot him, and then the acid blood, as Rook explains in.
I'm sorry, you're saying one Marine left at Big Chap in the state that he is in?
No. No, one Marine riddled him with bullets.
One.
Yeah, she was like the head of security or something. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and read the comic, but like, and her character was fucking. I think her character was the reason Big Chap escaped to begin with. I can't remember.
I'm sorry, but the wreckage that is behind Big Chap, like, I feel...
it fell through the floor, I think, was the thing. So that's why it's doing it. Because if you notice, like, there's a big melted hole above it as well.
But that's what I'm thinking. It must have been a firing squad, and the sheer volume of bullets it was being riddled with causes all the blood to splatter backwards.
Maybe. But yeah, as Rook has explained that, he's like, so the acid blood he left us one final surprise. It was the acid blood. It ripped. It's Swan Song. It ripped through the hull. We sealed the ship. A lot of people got sucked out, including that security officer. And so, he's just saying, look, you can't take it off without killing her, and like if you leave it on, it's going. You're all dead anyway.
Yeah.
by which point Rain comes up with the idea of using, because they have a gas tank filled with cryo stuff that they took out from the.
What if they
I
freeze
think
the
it's
base of its tail, like?
yeah, and then just rip it off, and it works. Like it's that
yeah.
thing of like they freeze. It's like I think it's like what they do to like cancer moles, like they freeze them with like CO2 or whatever the fuck it is until it falls off.
Like I will say, I do like again, like I will say, I like how Rain is established as sort of a creative person. Like it takes her some time, but she will come up with a solution. Because like again, like it's not like she's pulling these ideas out. Like time is going by, and then she comes to the idea. Like she didn't immediately run to the synth to get the chip out of his head. They tried to get the door open. She tried to smash the glass of the cryopod chamber open, and then she's like, "Fuck! What am I gonna do?"
Yeah.
Chip, and she's immediately not jumping to let's freeze the thing off. She's listening to all this conversation. She's like, oh my god, wait, cryo, we can do this.
But even then, she doesn't think it will work, so she double checks with both Andy and Buck, and Andy's like, yeah, that should work. That should actually work.
Yeah, but again, I do love, like, because again, I've seen people like sort of complain about how she comes up with like the solutions to everything. The thing is, she doesn't. It's not like she's immediately like, I know what to do. No. She takes a moment to think. She like it's and
because because an argument can be made. Oh, because why would she she doesn't have a science background, so why would she know how to use the cryogas? I'm just like, to be fair, I know nothing about science, and my first thought would be, what about this cryogas?
Yeah, like fucking freeze it, shatter it, even. See, that's where I would have went with ice. Would be freeze it and smash it with a hammer.
Yeah, like it's that you don't have to be like a fucking hyper intelligent supercomputer to kind of come up with that idea. Like that's like something you'd come up with in D&D.
Also, keep in mind, there is evidence that they would know that ice does somehow affect it because of where they were stored. So there's logic to how she comes up with this thing. Again, a proper Mary Sue would be like, oh, I know what to do in this situation. Where that would be their first guess of what to do. But where her, there's either time or she does try other stuff. Again, when she was freaking out at the cryo chamber, she tried to smash it open with a fire extinguisher. And don't get me started on the fact that they're fire extinguishers. I've already been at it with aliens. Sorry, with aliens.
Yeah.
There should not be fire. Like there shouldn't. Okay, actually, you know what? There should be fire extinguishers, but there should be automated systems. My point is, there should never be an electrical fire in a fucking spaceship.
But dude, then how can the plot of Alien 3 happen?
It shouldn't.
Yeah, no, it really shouldn't. God damn it.
In the point where you're so reliant on electronics, and an electrical fire is the one thing you would really plan for in terms of a fucking fire system. Oh yeah. And again, also, sorry, and we do see a fire system, so we do see electrical fire break out, and the fucking sprinklers turn on. You do not use fucking water on an electrical fire. Oh, sorry.
Wait, when is this?
At the start of Alien 3, I could have sworn I saw fucking sprinklers go off during the opening scene as well.
Actually, I don't think anything goes off. I have to rewatch the opening of Alien.
I feel like there was water sprinklers, and if there is, it's even more abysmal.
I mean, they land in water.
Oh, either way, my point is, you can easily replace electrical water. You can replace water sprinklers with foam sprinklers. Sorry, folks. It was the first, folks. The problem is when I did metalwork in our equivalent of high school, the first year of our equivalent of high school. Sorry, the first class even. We learned about the different types of fire. mechanical, chemical, and electrical gas, electrical gas, and what was the other one? Ah, fuck! There's 3 types of fires.
Chemical.
Chemical, yeah. Chemical, electrical, and gas. Gas is the one that everyone's pretty much aware of. It's the one that is fueled by oxygen. It's caused by heat and oxygen. And we actually had different extinguishers. We were told about the different extinguishers in the classroom, and what we need to use on which type of fire.
Yep. And then, like, if it's an oil fire as well, you don't do anything. You just you cut off its oxygen.
Yeah. Sorry. It's just that. Oh God. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. So in regards to that whole thing with Rain, because again, rewatching it twice, like, because again, I'm one of those people, like, I don't care for the Mary Sue trope. It's an annoying trope. The guy, like, again, there are movies where if the movie is self-aware and it's just dumb fun, it works. Again, like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger's Commando, his character is very clearly a Gary Stu, but the movie is very much self-aware and just wants you to have fun with a balls to the wall action movie. Resident Evil, Alice is absolutely a Mary Sue, but the movies know what they are. They're not trying to be anything deeper other than just dumb fun zombie movies.
And also
so
they explain it away of like she's genetically engineered to be the badass.
Yeah. Oh, but again, like in terms of like physics, like there's more to the Mary Sue trope than just the physicality part of it. But it is still like. But again, those tropes can work in films so long as the movie is very much self-aware and it's not trying to be anything other than dumb fun.
Yeah.
And then you've got characters like Rey, where she is the bad implementation of that trope, in which the movie is trying to make her deeper than she actually is when she isn't. She's the depth of a puddle.
Yeah. And now mind you, like, also those self-aware movies, like, when they get called out on these things, they full on admit it. They're like, no, like we did this on purpose.
Yeah.
Whereas
like with
Disney,
Ray, it's like they double down.
Yeah, every single person who so much as spoke badly of the Ray character was spoken like you were labeled sexist or whatever.
Hell, I was called a Trump supporter.
Oh yeah.
That was funny. That was no. That's, to be fair. Like I've heard worse. To be fair.
Now, mind
like,
you, Daisy Ridley did come out and apologize for all that after the third movie.
Yeah, no, she. I think, didn't she say, "I see what the fans mean now"?
Yeah.
Like, she had actually been like, I actually see what they're talking about.
Yeah, and they also saw her. She also acknowledged their disdain for a certain person who was in charge. Especially after she dedicated months of her life training for a certain scene, and for that scene to then just suddenly be cut. Like,
which scene is this?
There was supposed to be a big lightsaber battle between her and basically CGI Palpatine.
And then they cut it, and it's just hit her, like, directing his lightning back at him.
Yeah, and Daisy again, like, this is where I do feel for Daisy really, is because, like, she trained again. Like, I don't get me wrong, I may not like her character, but I'm not going to translate my hate of the character to her.
No, God, yeah, like that's the thing,
for those type of choreography fight scenes, it is months of training and discipline that you have to go into.
Even for the shit choreography, like the sequels.
So I do sympathize with all of that months amount of work. Then being told, it's pointless.
Oh yeah, like that's the thing. Like I always am of the mentality, like an actor is only as good as the material and direction they're given, and the material for the sequels is just very lacking. So that's not on the actors, that's on the writers.
Yeah.
Like it's
I did not like the character Rose, but I hate the people who target the actress.
Yeah, and same with Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar. Again, I was a kid at the time that Phantom Menace came out, and of course, as a kid, I loved Jar Jar. When I got older, I was like, well, when I was a kid, that was, again, I was, how old? Like, say, the movie came out in 1999.
Dude, I'm not that much older than you.
I was 3 or 4. I was 3 or 4.
What age are you?
I was 3 or 4. Yeah.
What age are you? Like currently, what age are you now?
Hold on, I'm gonna type it to you.
Because you can't be that much younger than me. Yeah, okay. There's not much of an age gap. Even I always hated Jar Jar.
But no, because again, as a kid, I'm just like, if it made me laugh, I was happy, and Jar Jar did make me laugh. Particularly I think it was the pod racing, when his tongue went numb and stuff
Oh
like that.
no, that's
Oh, do you want to make add insult to injury? I kept repeating that scene to myself when I watched
no.
it. Yes. But no, it wasn't until I got older that I was like, okay, now I see what people were talking about. It's like I had no idea that On My Best was like under some heat from the fans. Which again, any fans that did that, fuck off.
Yeah.
But like again, it's not the actor's fault. It's like the character is just badly written.
Yeah.
Like that's and that's it. Same with Rose Tico. I'm with you. What's her name? Kelly Marie Tran seemed like an absolutely lovely person when you see her in interviews. Just the character is just unfortunately shit.
Now, don't get me wrong, I did hate Daisley Ridley for a bit, but that was because of what she said about the fans.
Yeah, again, that was I think that was just typical. I'm contractually obligated by Disney to attack the fans.
Funny enough, you say that, but then you get the actor who played Finn, and he was always very vocal about his dislike of the direction that the movies were going.
Yeah, up until recently, but yeah.
I'm surprised they not once tried to. Actually, I suppose they were under contract to keep him in the movies.
Yeah,
so he was probably protected by a union or something.
Yeah, it's such a shame we never got like a true like wait again that I know we're veering off
wasted
dear viewers, but
yeah,
like
we will cover Star Wars at some point.
Yeah, but I will just say like just spoiler alert from my view of the sequels, wasted potential.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, a sequel series should have happened. Like I'm always for that. It's just the execution of what they did.
Oh, it was god awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, anyway, to bring it just back to the whole point of Mary Sue's, Rain never really set off the Mary Sue alarm bells for me. Like she felt like she did.
Like I will say, just a comparison in terms of in Alienverse, Ripley was closer to a Mary Sue than Rain is.
Oh, I disagree with you on that.
Only because we don't see we may not see Ripley make 100% full use of like the pulse rifle, like in like 100% of its glory, but like we see one training sequence where like Ripley being taught like the components of it, pull down the trigger and all that, and again she does have that badass line, "Teach me more," like like that type of whole thing.
Well, but like, even then in Aliens, like even after she's shooting, like she's not. It's very clear she's still not very good at it.
Oh yeah, no, and that's what I'm not saying she was a Mary Sue. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
If you're comparing though just these two characters, one was closer, like objectively closer than the other.
I would still argue that Ripley was nowhere near that line.
She was nowhere near that line. But I'm just saying when compared to Rain, on like let's say if Ripley's at let's say it's from 0 to 100, right? 100 being Mary Sue, 0 being nowhere near it. Like Ripley, again, just to give you an example of what I'm trying to say, Ripley would have been like maybe a 10, Rain maybe a 9. Just in like again, both are nowhere near it. But one was objectively closer than the other. That was it. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not disparaging the character of Ripley because I fucking love Ripley. She is a proper badass female lead character.
Yeah.
You know how much I love Ripley.
Oh yeah, she Sarah Connor tough. Anyway, but yeah, so in terms of like the writing for Rain, I think it's all right. It's fine. It does the job for the film. Like she's.
I would want to see more. I would like to see more of her.
No, I agree. Like she's one of she's of the 3 protagonists we've had after Ripley. Again, it's like those things like she's the one I like the most.
Yeah.
Like now, don't get me wrong. Like I did like Shaw. I thought Noomi Rapace was a good actor. Again, Shaw had the benefit of being played by Noomi Rapace. He was a good actor. So it's like Shaw's. I'd say in terms of like the hierarchy, it's Rain, Shaw, Anders.
Anders is Covenant, correct?
Is that her? I think so. I can't. Again, that's how little of an impact she makes on. In
she doesn't
story
really
of that
do.
movie.
Yeah, she really does not much. It's more Walter.
Yeah, it is really the David show, the David and Walter show. But yeah, so sorry we veered off there, but yeah,
But no, it is important to discuss our leads.
yeah, and as far as these go, I like Rain. Like I don't see I don't see an issue with her as a character.
Now
again,
we do
if
get
I go back and rewatch it, maybe.
Yeah, we do get a gnarly scene where after they freeze the tail, it works. It loosens its grip because it's numb. And we see, like, they pull the thing out, and the fucking, again, the length of the fucking.
Yeah, it was deep down.
Yeah.
And of course, because we can see, like, as they're pulling it out, the embryo is making its way down.
Is it? Wait, what?
Yeah, you can see a lump squeezing its way down as they're pulling it out.
Yes. Oh my god! I don't know if I missed that.
Yeah,
oh.
It's in the trailers and everything. But yeah, they get it off, and it fucks off, presumably to die. And
so yeah, okay, so that would explain why it was still like okay, because remember we discussed it, like how again, like some of them do move, they don't always just immediately drop dead, because there's still a hint of self-preservation. Like it seems like in their nest they just drop. They're like, I'm in a safe place, but I don't know why. But actually, no. Maybe they stay on until they actually just full out die if they're in a safe place.
Yeah, like in the hive.
Yeah. But then if they realize they're in, like, okay, I'm in an unknown environment. There are other creatures near me. I'm gonna skull off. Like, because again, it's not necessarily they know they're gonna die, because creatures don't know they're gonna die of old age. So the facehugger probably is not even aware that it will die.
Or it's just part of its what's the word, nature.
Yeah.
Like it knows its place in the life cycle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they get it off, and Rook is immediately just like, well, there's about a 60% chance that it succeeded. And then proceeds to try and tell Andy, look, humans are very emotional. They can't accept the inevitability, the cold hard facts of the universe. You know what to do.
Yeah, and again, I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time during our Alien run that I'm like, yeah, no, I'm on your side.
So your soft spot, like I'm just like, oh.
Well, okay, so because again, it depends on how you do it in the movie. Because at this point, like, there is the argument: put her in the cryo freezer, and then they can remove it at another point, which is usually
why take that fucking risk.
Yeah, but that is a plot point that other Alien stories have used. The AVP game, for example, that came out in the 2010s, that was a plot thread. One of your friends gets impregnated, and you're like, okay, we got to quickly get her to a cryopod, and then freezes her in time. But it is that thing of, like, it just depends on how far gone, I would say. Like, if there's a chance you can remove it safely, then go for it.
Why take the chance? Sorry, I'm just nope. Like, no, sorry, no. Facehuggers on your face for, like, if any part of the facehuggers was in your fucking mouth, you're dead.
But again, I like, because. And this is where Romulus does have that issue as well, where again it's because the plot has to happen, so it's where the life cycle of the alien is very inconsistent. So, like, for example, so again, like in Alien, in the first Alien, when Kane was impregnated, it's like, okay,
few hours, wasn't it?
let's say a few hours to like nearly a full day in which the alien finally emerged. Then it was the same with with Alien 3, it took an entire movie for that chest burster to come out of Ripley, but you could argue it was a queen, that's why it took longer.
They explained that there's multiple factors though at some point, didn't they? Not like I think it was like in a comic. I think you mentioned it. Like there's
no, yes, it did. Yeah, when it detects danger, it'll come out sooner. Yeah, but that's which is why basically the Queen was trying to run away when Ripley did the deep dive.
Yeah, it's again. I'm again. During that's why I always feel like there is some kind of like telepath connection. It must do with its host.
But then that is the thing, like, because once they got back on the ship, like, there would have been no reason for Navarro to feel in danger.
But maybe it's
all right.
Maybe it's because she was still maybe a bit panicked.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like maybe again, maybe it's not so. It's detecting like what she like. Again, she probably believes that there's still some kind of perceived threat. Because again, like humans don't always immediately calm down when they're in safety positions.
Yeah, but it's not just that. It's because when you look at it, okay. So again, going back to Alien, when Kane still had the facehugger on him, a good chunk of the xenomorph's growth takes place during that time. During the time it's the facehugger on the face. It only bursts out when it's reached its full adolescence, which is not long after the facehugger dies, after it's completed its task. So again, in case of Navarro, like it was only on her face for maybe a minute or two, like not long enough for the gestation period to even begin. So again, that's my only issue is that like it is very much this has to happen so the plot can happen.
But again, unfortunately, though, as you admitted to, though, like there are periods also. Like
no, what I mean is, there is in terms of after the fact, but this was like the gestation period had barely begun. Like is the point I'm making in terms of this scenario. In those other scenarios, yes, the gestation period had already finished. In this scenario, it was interrupted. That's the point I'm getting at. Sorry, I'm just explaining. But again, the decisions made leading up to it are believable because again, once Rook says, "Oh yeah," so it's very likely that it completed its task.
Yeah, because she would hear that.
Yeah, and she's quite clearly scared, and Andy is like, all right, I guess I have to kill her now. Or not let her on board the ship. And that's where Bjorn does make a decision that, while stupid in terms of, like, the audience knows it's a stupid decision and that Andy was kind of objectively in the right for what he was thinking. But again, it's like, these people are scared, they don't know what's going on. Yeah. And this is clearly someone I'm assuming it's his partner.
Yeah.
He's clearly close to. He cares for very deeply. It's established he hates Andy. He doesn't trust Andy. So okay, you're threatening someone I care about. You're an android. I hate androids. I'm going to shock you, and then the three of them just fuck off. Then I'm just like, every decision Bjorn makes, I think,
is purely motivated by panic and the fear of losing someone,
and very much in keeping with what's established for his character. Again, it's that thing of, as we said, like, stupid decision, believably stupid decision.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. I still hate his character.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely.
Because he has lost someone to a synth making a decision for the greater good, and deep down, he is recognizing that situation is sparking up. So he knows what a synth is going to do for the greater good. One life versus
many.
4 people.
1, 2, 3, and K. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, so he's obvious. Like Andy as a synth would obviously choose to simply kill K. Not kill K. Kill Navarro for the betterment of the others. And the fact, I will say, the way he's also talking to Navarro as they're hastily leaving, is probably not putting her in calmer spirits.
Yeah, no, he's talking to her like a calculating machine, just like, I'm sorry, but this has to be done.
Oh yeah, no, like Bjorn is just like, don't worry about the way he's talking to her is definitely not reassuring. Because
No.
if I'm being rushed off by someone who's constantly speaking reassurances, that's to me is screaming something is horribly fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we have Andy saying sorry to Rain as
Oh yeah, after he gets flung across the room
yeah.
by the because I think, and then I think Bjorn's like, yeah, yeah, what did I say about like unusual behavior, and then just shocks him and
Oh yeah, and again, and that's when he starts rushing Navarro back to the ship, and again
yeah,
speaking reassurances to her, which again not reassurance.
yeah,
You don't rush and have to be repeatedly told something's okay if everything is okay.
yeah, yeah,
And again, this is why I feel like, which is accelerating, in my opinion, the growth of the thing. Like now that it's inside her, like it's accelerating the development. Again, because as which was established.
no, sorry. What I mean is, in terms of when it emerges, it will decide based on the environment. In terms of gestation, that's all down to the facehugger and how long it's on it. Ash even established that, like it's feeding him whatever it is, and it's ensuring the growth of this thing, kind of thing. Again, that's the only inconsistency is it was only on her for a minute, so that's not long enough for the embryo to even begin growing. It's when it's fully grown that it starts to, again, depending on the scenario, it bursts out earlier or later.
I will say we do get an impressive feat of strength from Andy.
Oh yeah, he's just holding up that door because like he's chasing after them now, and they reach the ship, and he's holding up the airlock door.
Oh no,
So
he's not just holding it up; he's also holding it down. That door closes both ways.
oh yeah, he's just like, yeah, no, where do you think you're going, asshole?
Yeah, he's one hand on keeping the top bit up, one hand keeping the bottom bit.
Yeah, so Bjorn has no choice but to close the secondary airlock door as well,
Yeah.
which he does succeed in doing. Andy has to get off the ship then. The ship docks. Sorry, it undocks. And during this time, like Navarro, she's gotten worse. She's starting to convulse and shit like that. And Kay is like, "Oh, what the fuck's going on?" Because like the ship rocking and stuff like that is clearly woken her up. And that's where the X-ray, the rule of cool X-ray stick comes back into play. And we actually see the embryo bursting through her chest through the X-ray, which cool effect. I did like it.
It definitely looks painful.
Oh god, yeah. And of course, during all this time, like she's convulsing, she kicks the control stick of the ship.
In all fairness, she is full on spasming. Which
no, yeah, that's why like I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's very believable that like she like again she's in panic mode. She's like, I'm getting away from that fucking synth. So hence why she rushed straight to the cockpit to undock.
Yeah. And as this is going on, like the ship is veering away. Like it's still like close to the station, but it is like almost like drifting around it as it's moving, kind of thing.
Yeah, and then her kick.
Oof. Oh yeah, but as it's what's the word? As it's spinning, as it's moving, sorry, the ship hits off of, I'm assuming it's a fuel tank, which causes an explosion, which not only shakes the station but also shakes the ship.
Yep, which then dislodges it at which knocks it a little closer to the asteroid field.
Yeah.
And because of some internal damage to the station, has now accelerated its descent into the field from. Oh yeah, no, it is fuel. You're absolutely right. It got knocked into fuel. Because I just saw the tanker, the big thing. It says fuel. Yeah,
and so yeah, they had like 36 hours. Now they have like 47 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah. So during this entire time, so like yeah, the chestburster emerges. And again, like we were talking about sound design, like everything cuts off and it's just Kay's scream. And I remember in the theater, that shit was loud.
Yeah.
Like again, perfect use of sound design, stuff like that. And so yeah, after the explosion happens, it rocks the ship and Kate gets knocked out. Bjorn sees the chest burster, but then the ship crashes and he falls all the way down again and gets knocked out. And basically
Yep, more falling. Gravity is just not his friend.
Yeah, fuck him. But basically, the entire sequence ends with the Corbellin. Is that what it's called? The Corbellin.
The name,
Corbellin?
the ship.
The Corbellin, yeah.
Yeah.
It crashes into a
this.
hangar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, them crashing into the station also caused a hole to form. Actually, I don't think it was even the crash. I feel like the facehuggers probably sacrificed one of their own, similar to what we see in Alien Resurrection.
Oh yeah, because like they escape through this gap in the wall, basically. Yeah, that happens during the sequence.
Yeah, which I'm like, you know what? I don't think that crash would have caused that type of hole. I honestly would feel like the facehuggers sacrificed one of their own to.
They pulled an Alien Resurrection. You think? Yeah.
Which my headcanon is that like Dev Xenomorph was not happy about it, just because again we see it attack, try and fight back.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, guys? No, not me.
Anyway, but yeah, as far as chestburster sequences go, I think this is my favorite in the Alien. Of course, with the first one, like the infamous with Kane and all that. But this one, I think, because it was well shot, the music was great, it was well acted.
I don't know. Okay, with chestbursters, yes, but I will say, in terms of gnarliness.
Oh yeah, no, it's the most milquetoast.
Prometheus and Covenant still have sorry, Covenant. Sorry.
Oh yeah, with the backburster, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Shit.
I think that was like I think that's the most extreme they've gone with it.
Yeah. But in terms of everything else, though, I will say this one is highly up there because again, the fact that the music cuts out, like,
it's a very well set up scene, and again, it's the events leading up to it. I can believe in terms of like character decisions. And then so that's where we get the whole thing of, oh shit, the station's been knocked off its axis and stuff like that.
Yeah. And Andy Andy snuck off during all this to speak with Rook.
Yeah. Oh, actually, sorry, because I did want to. Because we were talking about how the station is now shifted to the 47 minutes thing. I meant to bring this up. Sorry, I was supposed to. It's I do not like this decision in terms of like the narrative. Cause
that station got knocked off its course.
Now they have minutes instead of hours. I'm just like, it adds it. I think it does kind of start causing the pacing to be rushed, because then this is around the time that the script starts to turn into, and then this happens, and then they go here, and then they go here, and as a result, and this is my biggest criticism with the film, the alien doesn't have a presence.
Yeah, it doesn't have a presence until a certain point. Like, it's very much like, I'm following you type situation. Like,
yeah,
like I'm the reason why you can't go this route.
Yeah, I think if the movie had kept the hours thing, I think, because it would have meant that they could spend more time with the station and with the characters exploring it. But because we don't see much of the station outside of these very, very similar hallways, basically. And then it's like, we have to rush through this section. We can't explore. We have to rush through this section. We have to rush through this section. I mean, even like, case in point, Resurrection does this much better, where like they have like 24 hours or something like that before the ship crashes into Earth.
Yeah, there's no acceleration.
Yeah, there's no acceleration. Even though it is kind of now we're here, now we're here, now we're here, they still do try to take time to go into other parts of the ship and stuff like that. And again, so they. Unfortunately, this is to the movie's detriment from here on out, because like, look at Alien. I think all in all, like, the Xenomorph has like a few minutes of screen time altogether. Like, it's not on screen long, but from the moment it emerges from Kane,
It's
like
slowly picking them off one by one.
not only that, but like the times when it's not on screen, you can still feel its presence. Like it's still somewhere there on the ship, waiting in the shadows, waiting to strike, waiting to just do anything. In Romulus, it doesn't invoke that same feeling. It's like, oh yeah, it's the alien was here and now it's there. Oh, now it's here again. Okay. It's like I was hoping again. It's one of those things where I was hoping we'd get more with it, but we only get like just a handful of scenes where, because by this point it's no long. There's no one else for the alien to pick off. If you get me,
Yeah.
like all the characters are all here now. Everyone that has died as fodder have died.
Also, I'm gonna also put it this way. No offense to, what's it called? What's it called? To Fox. Actually, because like again, unfortunately, it is Fox. Don't like. Actually, no. You know what? No, because technically I'm sort of proven wrong. Actually, no. As soon as I discovered that Kay is pregnant, I was like, nothing's gonna happen to her until that baby's born.
Yes.
And
Well, actually, no. I was actually like, because when I saw that they were revealing, oh, she's pregnant. My first thought was, oh, maybe what they're going to do is maybe Rain is going to sacrifice herself, and Kay is the only one that survives. Maybe that's what's going to happen. They're going to do a bit of a switcheroo. Like I genuinely thought that Kay was going to make it through the whole film. When I first saw she was pregnant.
oh no. For me, it was like Kay's just gonna like again. I just figured nothing's gonna happen to her until that baby's born.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that like the fact that she's pregnant is basically a shield.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, some things do happen to the baby, but like, unfortunately, with the way things tend to be, like baby, like it's a weird situation. I'm not advocating obviously for this, but I'm just saying like it's very obvious storytelling, and it happens all the time.
Yeah, it is.
Like
it is
baby,
a bit telegraphed.
like
Yeah.
babies are treated as fair game in some media, especially in modern media. Babies are treated as fairly fair game. Like again, we mostly see it with dark anime lately, such as Castlevania. Okay, these are all actually bought by Netflix. Castlevania and Dante, where we do see babies being pretty fair game. However,
Yeah.
it's very like pregnant women, however, always survive.
Yeah, it's like the dog in a movie. Like, oh, they're not going to kill a dog, are they?
Yeah, like they like again, as I said, again, I'm not advocating for like, oh, we should see more pregnant women be killed in movies. I'm not advocating for that, but I'm just saying, if you see a pregnant woman in a thing,
Like 9 times out of 10, they're going to survive.
yeah,
Yeah.
or if they do get killed, it's after the baby's born.
Yeah.
And if
It's
or like, and if something was to happen to the baby, it would happen off screen, or like none will happen to the baby until after it's been born.
yeah. Dawn of the Dead is a perfect example of that, actually. Don't know if you've seen that, but yeah, it's a bit fucked up. But yeah, and it's the same. And it's same with dogs. Like 9 times out of 10, like the dog is surviving, unless it's John Wick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the countdown, I think it unfortunately, like all this cool tension that that first act of the film was building up is now suddenly just kind of a quick. It feels more like a quick fire round of Alien, if that makes sense. Okay, now here's the facehugger scene. Oh no, okay, now here's the scene where the alien appears from behind and kills someone. Oh, here's the part where the alien is clearly in an air vent and hiding like a pipe. So, oh, okay. again, really very much just to the detriment of the film from there on out. And it's, again, that's why, like, when I saw the trailer, like, my first thought was, oh, okay, so they're trapped on a station and there's an alien roaming about. So this must be where the alien isolation inspiration comes from. And it's like, no, the alien comes into it when, like, half of the like, 2/4 of the character are already dead. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
basically, we're not going to see any more alien action until, like, towards the very, very end of the film.
Yeah.
So again, so it's one of those things where, yeah, did a good job making the crew small again. Unfortunately, in terms of utilizing the alien, how they used the rest of the crew was a bit of a detriment.
Yeah, like
Um,
they could have easily have it be like they could have easily explained away like, okay, shit, we have to take the because of if they didn't have it be knocked off its axis, they could have had a whole situation where what the crash did do was completely lock up some of the doors and such, so they can't take the most direct route. They have to go around.
yeah,
And
hell, I would have even.
and then the xenomorph starts playing again, like in Alien Isolation, a cat and mouse situation where it is a constant threat, like where they are constantly having to move around and hide. They even moments when they have to sleep, where they have to find somewhere to sleep.
Yeah, I would even say, like, even if they had moved the countdown down to even 24 hours, because even that's the line Ripley has in Aliens. Like, just one of these things was able to kill every member of my crew in less than 24 hours. So the entire first movie is like a day, and in that day it killed like 6 of the 7 crew, or 7 of the 8 crew members. And what's the word?
Now, mind you, I think she was speaking hyperbole. I don't think it was an entire 24 hours. Because again, like I don't think the xenomorph was out of, like, I don't think it burst.
Yeah,
and then
she says less than 24 hours. I think she says, yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, if they had the, like, okay, they have a day left to find a way to escape. That could have been the rest of the plot of the film. There's an alien on board. They have to find a way to escape, but the alien is constantly kind of being an obstacle. And then you could throw in the facehuggers as well as another obstacle. But then, yeah, they have to throw in this other arbitrary thing of, like, this plot B of, oh yeah, Rook wants you to get this thing, and Andy is a factor in this, and basically the alien kind of feels like a side character in its own movie.
Yeah, like if they remove, like, they could have kept everything the same way, just remove the time limit.
Yeah, or again, just extend it to not a few minutes.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with them having to, like, having a certain amount of time before they have to get off the station, but, like, it's just, don't have it be like this short of a time.
See, this is where, like, I again, immediate bringing up time is always a detriment.
Yeah.
Because in shows, like, again, this is most common in anime, and it's always also, I'm going to bring up the thing that is most often pointed out. It's always brought up when you bring up time in shows. For example, Dragon Ball. When the infamous scene when Frieza says this planet will blow up in 5 minutes. Now, in Dragon Ball, characters move and fight at hypersonic speeds.
Yeah.
So therefore, every second we see them fighting is not necessarily that same time period, in actual time. So, but again, because they brought up a time period, people are going to pay attention. They're going to forget about, oh yeah, these people move so fucking fast that, to them 5 minutes would take on, from their accelerated speed, the frame of, like, multiple periods. But from us not experiencing time the way they do, obviously, we're going to count down to fucking 5 minutes. So when it then takes multiple episodes, we're going to be like, oh, that was fucking ridiculous. Claiming 5 minutes. It was 5 episodes. But again, that's because we're looking at it from our viewpoint of not being super fucking accelerated.
Yeah.
And typically in terms of live action movies, when they bring up time, now you're fucked, because now you need the story to wrap up within that time frame.
Yeah.
So so again, it's again, movies should, okay, there's nothing wrong with a ticking clock, but don't bring up a ticking clock super fucking early in your movie or thing. And
Yeah, it's fine to have if the ticking clock is there for the climax,
yeah,
because then it's yeah,
it should never
we've got to
be introduced halfway into your movie, especially if it's a short one.
yeah, and because that's the thing, this isn't even this is like a nearly two this is like a 2 hour movie, and then they somehow managed to make, because they introduced the clock countdown then at the second half of the film, it takes that last hour and makes it feel just a very inconsistent rush.
Yeah.
Um,
Because again, we know that Alien did it, but it was a much shorter countdown.
yeah,
And
and
again,
it was literally
it
it
was
was for the
saving
climax.
the end.
Yeah, it was. You've got 10 minutes to get off the ship before, and it's plot relevant because, okay, I'm blowing up the ship because I think it will blow up the alien. So there we go. With this countdown, it is clearly it is a tool to keep the plot moving.
Yeah,
and
they
it's
again, even in Alien, as you said, Alien Resurrection, the timeline was they introduced a countdown clock of 24 hours, but they at least kept there were time jumps as we're seeing them, because we're getting a sense of how much they're traveling across the fucking station, because we are clearly jumping from, we're not being shown every single step that they're making along the way. We're cutting to the important bits.
Yeah, because that's the thing, because in doing so as well, they miss opportunity of the important character of an alien movie is also the setting.
Yeah.
So the Nostromo, the Nostromo is as much an integral part of the whole character aspect as the actual characters. Same with Hadley's Hope.
Yeah, because it was the Nostromo was also very even though it was only one xenomorph, it was also very claustrophobic.
Yeah, you still felt very enclosed. Fuck, I'm trapped. At any moment, this thing could fucking kill me. And same with Hadley's Hope. It's a bigger location, but there's more aliens, and we also get to spend a little bit more time with the environment. So
because they're trapped in there. We know that they almost spent an entire night trapped in that facility.
And again, like you said with the countdown, they don't bring the countdown into it until after we've introduced the aliens, and now that it's basically the second half of the plot of the film is, okay, we've got 15 hours before, or was it 6 hours? I think.
Yeah, for the reactor. But they kept doing it in hours, and again, you would forget about the timer, which is okay.
Yeah, because a lot can happen in those 6 hours, and a lot does happen in those 6 hours. They fortify their defenses. They find a way. They make up a plan immediately to get themselves out and away from the thing. So not only does that time still give us more time to spend time with the characters and spend time with the environment, it keeps the tension kind of at a natural pace. But
Whereas
okay,
this
so
was
Romulus,
such a big jump.
yeah, it's okay, so 36 hours is now 47 minutes, and in that time we're not really going to get much else with the characters. We're not going to get to spend that much with the environments. It's just, we're here, now we're here, now we're here.
Yeah.
And
because now we need to wrap up. We now need this part of the movie to wrap up in this time frame. Because again, people are being aware of how long the movie is going to be. Because again, if you give it an arbitrary number that is not realistically tracked, if the timeline is longer, it's clearly longer than the movie, people are not going to care about the timeline. Sorry, they will care in the sense of oh my god, when it occasionally gets brought up. That's when they'll care. But if it is shorter than the runtime of the fucking movie, people are going to be counting.
Yeah,
and you don't want
you
that.
can feel the rush. You can feel the quickened pace then from that. Yeah.
Yeah, because people are going to be sitting in the cinema. They're like, oh, they have 40 minutes. People will peek at their foot. Again, now I didn't, but I imagine there's going to be some people who will have a dirty little peek at their phone. Because people like to pay attention to. So there's some people who like to pay attention to those extra details. Just like how when in the movie Heracles, and yes, I know it's not pronounced that way for the Disney movie, but like when Hades says, "Relax, it's only half time," you know, that was actually halfway point of the movie.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, he says that line exactly at the halfway point of the movie.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, people will pay attention to those type of details. So you need, if you're going to set a timer, it needs to be longer than what the runtime of the movie is. Or in, again, and in terms of the way for anime, when they mention a timeline, they also need to at some point have some way of reminding the viewers that these characters are moving much faster than the eye can actually follow. Now, mind you, they do that. Unfortunately, that reminder doesn't get brought up until the Cell Saga, the end of the Cell Saga. Yeah, there's a news reporter who is trying to film the Cell fights, but Goku and Cell look like they vanished. And like, yeah, no, DBZ Abridged pokes fun of it, where the cameraman's like, "Hey, Mr. Satan, what if I slow down my camera? Maybe they're moving so fast that we just can't follow. I could try slowing down my camera." And then Satan's like, "That's impossible," you know. Like DBZ pokes fun of it, and they also poke fun at the whole 5-minute thing. But again, you need to. But again, the 5-minute does make sense if you look at it from the fact that these guys are probably talking and fighting faster than what we can realistically keep track of.
To bring up another example as well that I think uses the whole countdown thing quite well. Have you ever watched 24?
Yeah, no, but I'm aware of that. Each season's like 24 episodes, but each episode is only 1 hour long.
Yeah, it's literally the entire season is just one day. Like that's the timeline. Yeah, and it works so well.
Yeah.
So that's the thing again. Again the whole thing of hours.
Yeah.
That's the perfect way to give a time.
Yeah, and you forget about it because the timeline is 24. Like I imagine the timeline is 24 hours, but but people know and are reminded of the fact that an episode's not 24 hours long.
Yeah, like each episode is just like so much happens in the space of that time slot in what is going to be a very long day for these characters.
Yeah.
I need to actually pick that back up. I think I'm on season 2 now. I loved it. But yeah, so that's just I just wanted to bring all that up with the countdown.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah. It's honestly it's my biggest issue with the film. Yeah. Because again, like I said, it now makes the Xenomorph feel like a side character.
Yeah. Whereas, no, don't get me wrong, I do like the scenes where the Xenomorph does show up is great. Its intelligence is generally on full display.
I just wish a good chunk of the movie was more of that.
I will say, I do love how the Xenomorph has a huge nasty scar, and its head keeps lighting up with electricity.
Yeah. Oh, I believe. Yeah, because I think.
We skipped over, but we will talk about it next time. Unfortunately, which is sort of good because the Xenomorph is now here. the chest burst has burst out, so we'll end this video. I did notice we went over our usual time. I allowed us to go over our usual time limit because we did spend about 40 minutes talking about Alien Earth trailer.
How long have we recorded for?
We are looking at 3 hours and 52 minutes.
Too bad.
Yeah, again, considering we did spend a good chunk talking about Alien Earth.
Indeed.
And our usual side quests. So yeah, folks, we will be doing another live stream, possibly next week. Due to some unfortunate events, again, I consider them unfortunate, but there is a light side. There is the potential chance that we could have new footage, or we be able to record a bit more, do more collabs maybe in the future, due to the fact that again, it is unfortunate for us that there's no longer travel time after our D&D sessions.
Yeah, but long story short, the usual place we go to is closing down.
But it's closed.
Or it's closed. It has closed down. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, such a shame.
Yeah, and that's why there was a bit there. We were still trying to adjust to having D&D traveling and then trying to then do something.
Yeah,
So like again, the silver lining, there's less travel time.
indeed.
So there's maybe possible more side adventures and thing in the future. Again, it's a bittersweet idea.
Yeah,
'Cause
but we will.
Oh, sorry. It is it is really tragic. And again, I'm trying to focus on this brighter side, but at the same time,
It's annoying as fuck.
yeah.
Mm.
Like, don't get me wrong, folks. I love again, I love these moments, but it's just those the face to face D&D games were really special.
Oh, yeah. If we can, I want to try and do some more face to face ones off.
Yeah, it's just there's no real good location.
Yeah. Well, we'll find one eventually.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Or I will end up getting my own place, hopefully near the city centre, which will be a reasonable travel for all of you.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, because again, I don't want it to just be convenient for me. I want it to be convenient for all of us.
Mm.
I will say I am a little bit biased for me because I'm the one lugging the suitcase with D&D stuff. You felt the weight of my suitcase with D&D.
Oh yeah. It's heavy as fuck.
Anyway, folks, we'll potentially see you next week for the final thing, Alien coverage until Alien Earth next week, possibly. Actually, there is probably a good chance because Simon, you know who is not going to be available next week for D&D. So yeah, we won't have actually a D&D session next Saturday.
Yes, that's true. So
Yeah,
maybe, maybe.
So there's a very good chance we'll do it even at a more reasonable time than we did this one. But yeah, folks, it will be our final one, and then we will eventually get to Predator.
Yes, I look forward to that because I love Predator.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good franchise. It's not. You don't get as many lore chances. Like there's not as much lore in the movies being added on as opposed to Alien. Like okay, with the more modern Predator movies, yeah, there's a bit more lore being built up. But but in the first two Predator movies, there's not really any real lore except maybe at the end of Predator 2, when the guy gets given the pistol.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that because with Predator 1, it's more so just the mystery.
Yeah, again, similar to Alien.
Yeah.
And then, but at least with Aliens, it was then the introduction of the Queen and then all that. Like, again, Alien has the advantage of the fact that it built up more movies.
Yeah.
As opposed Predator movies back in the day were very rare. Now, I will say Predator movies have been coming out more often in more modern day. Anyway, folks, I'm going to end this stream now. I'm the Celtic Nerd.
I've been Skull.
One name.
One Sky. Have a good